And welcome again to Lloyd Noble Arena. Again, the battle here is Iowa State at 16-2, 4-0 in the conference. Oklahoma now 14-3, ranked 16 in the country, but they dropped those two on the road. And now they come home to face Iowa State here today. Let's take a look at the Southwestern Bell starting lineups. Iowa State head coach Larry Eustachy will start. Obviously, Marcus Fizer leading the conference in scoring. Stevie Johnson, a very steady 6'4 senior. Kantrail, Horton, Jamaal, Tinsley, and Michael Nurse, a returning guard who's playing very well with the new cast routing. Kelvin, Sampson, Sooners, Najera up front, 6'8 senior, and Renzi Stone, along with three guards, Nolan Johnson, J.R. Raymond, and Hollis Price, a terrific outside shooter at a guard. And Chris, let's take a look at the Dodge keys to victory.
Well, for Iowa State and Larry Eustachy, only give Oklahoma one chance. No second shots there. Also identify the shooters. Oklahoma loves to shoot the three-point shot from deep. For Kelvin, Sampson, and Oklahoma have to contain the dribble penetration of the Iowa State guards. Also defend without fouling. Just been putting a lot of teams at the free throw line too many times for Oklahoma.
Game number 500 as a head coach for Kelvin Sampson here today. Tip control by Oklahoma. The Sooners attacked first. Raymond, Hollis Price, penetration and a floater off the baseline, and that didn't take long.
Well, Hollis Price really coming to his own the last couple games. Had 15 points at Colorado. He can put the ball down on the floor. You know, he struggles against bigger guards, but he's got a good matchup here this afternoon against Michael Nurse.
And a little quickness on the other side at the guards, too. That's Nurse giving it up to Johnson and Tinsley.
Now you watch defensively. Both teams now, they're not going to guard. You're not going to see Eduardo Najera guarding Marcus Fizer much of the game, and vice versa for Iowa State. You got Renzi Stone on Fizer inside for Oklahoma.
Horton missed. Najera knocked to the floor, but saved the rebound, and here come the Sooners.
Well, knocked to the floor is a common term you say when you're talking about Najera. He's just so active.
Good interior defense by Iowa State. They knocked it back out of there after Renzi Stone had set a ferocious pick at the top of the circle. Fizer and Stone battling.
You see Iowa State, they're going to put Stevie Johnson on Najera, try and come over and help with Marcus Fizer once Najera catches the ball inside.
Saw the shot clock there winding down as the miss came from Nolan Johnson. And right back, Iowa State.
Oh, so
Tinsley. Oh, and he tried to dish it and couldn't get it cleanly.
He is just so quick with the ball. I don't think you can guard Jamaal Tinsley one-on-one and get up in his face. You really have to give him a couple steps, make him shoot the ball over the top. You see the matchup there, the two big-time players, Najera and Fizer inside. You see the points. These two guys aren't going to be guarding each other, but watch their numbers throughout the game. See how many shots they get at the basket.
And a travel call. Nolan Johnson committed a foul, by the way. There's a pretty good battle going on right now between Renzi Stone and Marcus Fizer when they get matched up. You know, Renzi Stone has only missed one game at Oklahoma, and every one of his teams has been an NCAA play.
Well, he's a winner. He's consistent. You know, he doesn't give you a lot of things offensively, but he does as far as points go. But he's a guy that sets picks for you. He plays good, strong defense. It's going to be very important for him to stay out of foul trouble guarding Marcus Fizer.
And when Renzi Stone sets a pick, it is set.
Yeah, you know it's there, don't you?
Raymond clears to Najera. Stone down low. He's going to try to take it to Fizer. Got it over him. Wouldn't fall. And saved by Nolan Johnson. Raymond too strong. Stevie Johnson right there. It seems like he's always right there.
Well, he's always around the boards. Important for Iowa State to be able to rebound. Already have given up a couple second shots to Oklahoma. Larry Eustachy yesterday said, hey, let's just pack it up and go home. If we don't rebound, this game's over.
Fizer, a tough shot, Marcus Fizer, and he's got him on the board. We're tied at 2.
Well, you can't ask much more defensively than to make him go right up over the top. But, you know, the thing about Marcus Fizer is he can either take you to the basket or he can shoot over the top of you as well. You're going to have to double team, try and get the ball out of his hands once he catches that ball in the post.
Raymond, Hollis Price, he can shoot it. That one is going to go off the rim. Fizer had a hand on it and picked off by Kantrail Horton for Iowa State.
Well, half-court game right now for both teams. Neither team very adept at getting out in the fast break.
Stevie Johnson did a great job of getting a shot, but couldn't bury it. Rebound, Najera. Stevie Johnson guarding Najera. Fizer chasing Stone around.
See Marcus Fizer pushing that defense out on Renzi Stone, trying to make him put the ball on the floor.
Well, they start their bumping at the top of the circle. Najera wide open and stuck it.
Yeah, one of the things, if you're Stevie Johnson, you've got to make Najera put the ball on the floor that far from the basket. Eduardo starting to feel his touch from the outside. He shot 40% from beyond 3 last year. Has struggled so far this season because of the change, moving him back inside, but he can hit that shot.
Tinsley and a foul call.
Yeah, we told you this is going to be a matchup of the 2 big men, what they could do. You see Fizer working inside against Renzi Stone. The help defense just a little late. You got to come get the ball out of his hands. And if you're Stevie Johnson, you've got to find Najera and make him put the ball on the floor. You let him score up and shoot the ball from that distance, he's going to put it down on you.
Tinsley off the baseline. They relaxed just a moment, and he took advantage of it. Jamaal Tinsley's first bucket. And we're tied at 4.
You know, the things that is amazing about Jamaal Tinsley is all the little categories he's in. I mean, this is a guy that's averaging over a 1 block shot a game. And at his size, he's just active all over the place, gets into the rebounds as well.
Now whistle blowing, and Oklahoma committing a foul. Renzi Stone is first.
1 block shot a game might not seem that much, but when you're 6'3" playing guard, I mean, this is a guy that gets right up on you. And when you have that quickness, you can stay right with somebody.
He does so many things.
Well, so quick with the ball, too. You see Hollis Price giving him a little bit of room on that perimeter.
Stevie Johnson works against Najera. Tinsley didn't play his senior year in high school. He was an AAU player in Leicester Junior College, and now another whistle blowing and another foul call down inside along the baseline. Yep. Go against Oklahoma.
One of the weaknesses of this Oklahoma team the last couple of games is putting teams at the free throw line. Actually, the last couple games, their opponents have shot more or made more free throws than they've attempted. And what happens there, Fred, is your defense is late in reacting. You've got to play that defense early and get to your spots early. Otherwise, you're always on your heels, and you're going to put somebody at the free throw line.
That was Raymond's second foul, and Kelvin Sampson's going to stay with him. Michael Nurse has the first point. Comparing the guards right there.
There you see Oklahoma relies on Raymond a little more offensively than Tinsley. Tinsley, a guy that can give you the points, but you're also looking for him to pass.
Oklahoma with an early sign of pending foul problems. We have timeout. We have a 2-point ball game. Iowa State up by a pair on the road here at Oklahoma.
Do you want to know when the games begin? Tune to ESPN Now for a complete guide to all sports on television. You get continuously updated schedule information so you know exactly what's on when. Plus, get live sports and news headlines from ESPN.com and the Go Network. If you want to know what the latest sports news is and where the games are, the place to be is ESPN Now. ESPN Now, it's where sports fans go first for sports. To get ESPN Now, call your cable company.
People say I talk a lot of trash. I don't talk a lot of trash.
This bomb go over 5 rounds. I won't return to the United States for 30 days.
Ali talk trash.
For all these big mouth people here in Miami talking about I talk too much and this one's gonna whoop me, so I want all of them to be there.
He invented trash.
Yeah, I wish him a happy new year because he's gonna need happiness after I annihilate him.
But he can back it up too.
I must be the greatest.
You've got to call 1-800-CLASSIC to get ESPN Classic.
He was part of the animal group.
To study the mind of a convicted killer.
Are you a murderer? Oh, yeah.
A psychiatrist.
If you don't talk to me, I can't help you.
Is prepared to risk everything. Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins.
Never had control. You only thought you had it.
Academy Award winner Cuba Gooding Jr.
He's leading me into the jungle.
He's leading you. Instinct.
What are you up to? Therapy?
Now on pay-per-view, rated R.
Early going, Iowa State up by 2 here in Norman. 15:48 to play in the first half. And today's Cargo Big 12 alumni academic achiever is Kansas graduate Lynette Woodard, who has had an illustrious career. Look at that, GT Academic Hall of Fame, Olympic gold medalist, and assistant coach of Kansas. Globetrotter, you name it, she's done.
I was going to say a little Harlem Globetrotters in the mix there as well.
Out of Wichita, Kansas.
You know, she was a type of player when you're in school, you didn't want to have to play against her. I mean, because she'd beat you. I mean, she was just a tough, tough player.
Well, they talk about all century this and that. She simply has to be one of the best athletes, not only out of Kansas, but certainly out of the country, one of the top women athletes in the nation, at least. Raymond lines Johnson. Nolan Johnson, Hollis Price, top of the circle. Iowa State in the zone. Lob to Johnson and a little soft touch. Wasn't that pretty?
Nice pass over the top. Stevie Johnson gets caught looking on the backside, and Oklahoma now going to switch up their defense as well. Go with a little 3-2 zone.
I was all set for the slam dunk, and he put that little baby kiss up there. A nice play. Now zoned at the other end. Tinsley trying to break down Johnson. Pull-up jumper, no. Look at guards who, you can just see them itching. They love to push it, don't they?
Well, Oklahoma always looking for a little seam in your defense. If they can get that quick bucket in the transition, they'll do it. But Iowa State, good back defensively in transition as well.
Tough bucket, Najera. Nice hoop.
Boy, how tough is that? Najera just puts it down. You know, he loves to initiate the contact offensively. That's what helps him get his shot, gets his shot off a lot of times. You watch Marcus Fizer, Eduardo Najera, and Gabe Munecki from Texas. Those are three guys in the league that really like to draw that contact offensively.
Little gamesmanship. Najera and Fizer, a little bump in the lane. Bill Kennedy, the official, said break it up. Kelvin Sampson say, hey, their guy bumped mine first. Lob down inside. That's Fizer. He's strong.
Well, you talked about Tinsley not playing basketball his senior year in high school, but this kid knows basketball. There was no angle there at all, but he recognized that the defense wasn't watching the ball, so he just threw it up over the top and let Marcus Fizer go get it.
Price, the miss. Rebound, Tinsley. Yeah, that wasn't a spectacular pass, except it was really about a tougher pass as you're going to have to throw it.
Well, it was a smart pass. He just read the defense.
Tinsley double dribble. Chris, looking at what's happened, well, let's go back and look at this first.
Fizer's going to recognize the defense, seeing the pick come over, and Najera loses sight of the ball. Fizer just sees that opening, and great communication there between Tinsley and Fizer to recognize that that was there and go for it. Something unusual to see from a first-year player like Tinsley being able to read Fizer.
Najera in the middle. That's another tough shot, and this one won't fall. And look who's got the board. Marcus Fizer to Tinsley. Way up towards Stevie Johnson, and he got it.
Well, again, Stevie Johnson doing those little things for you, getting out on the break, saw that Fizer had it, and just beat Oklahoma down the floor. Kelvin Sampson obviously can't be too excited about that. You got three guards on the floor. You don't want to get beat back in defense.
Stevie Johnson's probably the guy in the game where everyone else on the opponent thought, oh, God, I forgot about him, and there he is. Najera. Stevie Johnson was very quiet, and at the end of the game, he always has 12 points, 8 rebounds, something like that.
Well, he's always active. You're exactly right. He's the guy that you definitely don't want to have to see as your matchup because he's just all over the floor. But I'll tell you, he's got a tough matchup right now trying to guard Najera inside. Iowa State's got to get Stevie Johnson some help defensively.
Fizer missed the pull-up jumper. Najera one-handed board. Chris, there's some guys, I think you're one of these, there's some guys that always play better than their box score. And Stevie Johnson probably one of those guys.
Well, he's a guy that they don't need points from him. You know, always when people look at the box, they look at the points. But Stevie Johnson does a lot of things for you defensively. He gets on the offensive boards. He makes things happen so other guys can be the guys that get the stats.
Raymond knocked down a three. First bucket for J.R. Raymond. He's playing with 2 fouls on him, don't forget. And Kelvin Sampson never blinked. He just left him out there.
Well, big bucket there for J.R. Raymond. He's really been struggling the last few games. 2 for 10 on his last 3-point shots. He's a kid that, you know, he sat out last year as a partial qualifier. He's just now getting his feet underneath him.
That's a walk. Renzi Stone was set on the defense and caused the travel. Marcus Fizer with the turnover. Number 3 charged to Iowa State. And we've got a whistle blowing. Larry Eustachy talking to an official as they come off the court. Pretty active ball game to get started. 13-10. Oklahoma off this Raymond 3. We're back after this from Phillips 66, the Performance Company.
Are these guys tough or what, huh? How about it? What a ball.
Introducing ESPN Extra, the brand new channel for sports fans who can't get enough. On ESPN Extra, you get more of the sports you love, like international soccer from countries around the world, plus the UEFA Champions League, international auto racing, fitness, and outdoor programming. Plus, there's EXPN, which offers exciting extreme sports programming, all on pay-per-view around the clock all week long. Watch ESPN Now or your program guide to see what's on, then order exactly like you would for a pay-per-view movie. ESPN Extra, you can't do better than that.
On January 29th, get ready for the film event of the year, the NFL Film Super Bowl Marathon. ESPN Classic proudly presents 2 days of the films that keep your butt planted on the couch. Starring Broadway Joe, The Snake, Hollywood Henderson, and the return of the Fun Bunch. All battling to possess the one trophy everyone wants. The NFL Films Super Bowl Marathon, January 29th, only on ESPN Classic. NFL Films, definitely old school.
Today's game is brought to you by Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasolines so you get the most out of your car. Choose Phillips 66, the performance company. Chris Piper giving the results so far today with Missouri beating Kansas, A&M over Oklahoma State. This may be that given Saturday you always hear about.
Well, you've always got that Saturday that all the upsets happen, and so far they have. Although the Missouri-Kansas game, I don't know if you can really call that an upset because Missouri always plays so well in Columbia.
A&M making some noise in the conference.
Yeah, they really are. A lot of young players. See turnovers there. Iowa State with 3, Oklahoma 0. This is a team that's leading the Big 12 in turnovers at only 12.8 a game. Pretty good for Kelvin Sampson, this guard-oriented team.
Really taking care of it. Fizer's out of the game right now. Paul Shirley from Meriden, Kansas is in for Iowa State. Up at the top of the circle, Tim Heskett for Oklahoma. Another good outside shooter. Now Raymond beat the shot clock with a 3. 3 on the shot clock when he cut it loose. J.R. Raymond has 6 points.
Well, you kind of get the idea that today is also the day for J.R. Raymond. 2 quick early fouls, but Kelvin Sampson leaves him in the game now, and he hits 2 threes back-to-back there for Oklahoma.
Well, they shot 51% in the first 9 games, 53% three-point range, 32 and 29 since then. But he's knocked down those 2 here today. An 8-0 run in the last 2 minutes now for Oklahoma. Raymond 2 for 3 from three-point range. Najera deflected, and Raymond's going to push it and then pull it back out. The guards just push hard, and then when they read the defense, it shows some poise.
And it's tough to teach poise at the point guard spot as well. I mean, usually that's something that's learned, but Kelvin Sampson's got J.R. Raymond with the idea that you push the ball up the floor and don't try and make something happen. If it's not there, bring it back. Try to get the ball to the big man inside.
Renzi Stone fires a pass. Raymond, deep corner. That one won't fall. And a battle for the boards. And Renzi Stone, who hit the deck, is going to be called for the foul. That's his second foul, and he is really upset.
To ESPN the magazine, like Marcus Camby, really look forward to each issue.
Where's my magazine?
Get 26 issues for just $1 an issue, and this windbreaker is free. It's wind and water resistant with an embroidered ESPN the magazine logo.
Hey man, what's my ESPN the magazine? Go order your own.
Call now for ESPN the magazine and free windbreaker.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready for some football?
The biggest event in television is coming to ABC. Get ready for Super Bowl 34, Sunday, January 30th.
At Oklahoma lead, the biggest lead of the game so far today, 16-10. Bank of America's salute to Excellence trivia question today is, which 2 Big 12 teams tied for the best free throw percentage during the 1998-99 season? Get the answer on the web by checking www.big12sports.com. Larry Eustachy, his second year at Iowa State. Both of these coaches, there's Kelvin Sampson. They both came out of the Northwest. Eustachy was at Idaho State and Utah State. Kelvin Sampson coached at Montana Tech and Washington State. You never think of the Northwest as being the cradle of coaches, but here's 2 pretty good ones that came from there.
Yeah, they are. You know, they're 2 guys that really they build their team on defense and discipline as well. Both teams play with a lot of emotion.
Iowa State playing on the road, whistled for just 1 foul. You see that Oklahoma's been whistled for 5. Iowa State for 1. Renzi Stone has 2. So does J.R. Raymond.
Iowa State struggling against this zone defense of Oklahoma. Haven't yet found a way to get that ball inside to Marcus Fizer.
Pass deflected by Shirley, saved by Stone. 21 still on the shot clock. Hollis Price. Stone gave it to Heskett. There's a three, and he can shoot it, and he just did.
Renzi Stone actually took Tim Heskett's first shot, and Tim said, hey, the heck with this. I'll back up a step or two and knock a three on you from this distance.
A little room here if you don't mind, Renzi. Heskett, a 43% career three-point shooter.
Well, Larry Eustachy knew that he was going to get Oklahoma's A game, and this Oklahoma team is fired up and got the crowd fired up as well. Now Heskett with the charge, and look at that Oklahoma team run to him.
Boy, Heskett, an emotional player coming up out of there.
Well, you know, he's just a heady player. He knows when to take shots. He hits big shots, and that was a big one there. You see the emotion on him. Fired up for this game. He's ready to get a victory underneath their belt to get off that two-game skid.
Tinsley's first foul. Biggest lead of the game now, 9-point. Heskett again. A little too pumped up that time, and Stone saves the ball to Raymond. Sooners going to get another crack at it with a fresh 35. Unconscious. You called it very quickly that Raymond may have found the stroke. That's 3 trades for him. He's 3 for 5. And listen to the crowd here in Lloyd Noble.
Well, I tell you what, one place I don't want to be right now is that huddle for Iowa State. Larry Eustachy was just absolutely livid and came running out on the floor and called timeout. Just upset at his players right now for not getting through those picks on the perimeter. You know, yesterday they talked about you've got to be able to fight through those picks because Oklahoma will pull up on you and shoot that three.
Oklahoma on a 14-0 run now in the last 4 minutes. Eustachy kept saying last night in practice, if you're going to do that, we might as well pack up and go home right now. Because I'm telling you right now, we're going to lose. There are the standings. Iowa State at 4-0 in the Big 12. Kansas losing today at Missouri. They're tied at 4-1. There's the bottom half. A&M with their second win today. They beat Oklahoma State. Points off turnovers, Oklahoma 11, Iowa State none.
Well, Iowa State, they've got to get some movement against this zone defense of Oklahoma. It's too easy. You make it too easy on the perimeter, guys, if you don't move, and it makes it tough on the inside. Marcus Fizer, though, just says, hey, give me the ball. I'll go to work. And he creates his own space inside.
Half a dozen points from Marcus Fizer. Colorado leading Kansas State there by a pair. Colorado beat this Oklahoma club this week. Larry Eustachy called that before the game when they were playing at Kansas State. Missed that time by Raymond. Well, you could tell that he's been feeling at that time to miss. He's 3 for 6 now from behind the arc.
Well, he's getting a lot of good looks too, Fred. That one again was a wide open look. He just missed the shot. Iowa State still getting caught up on those screens.
Michael Nurse finds Horton. He's in the middle of it all, and the shot won't go. And Najera, no surprise there. Another rebound for Eduardo Najera. He has 3. Been an intense battle. Oklahoma leading by 10. There's Najera against Fizer, and they knocked down a bucket. 8 points for Eduardo Najera.
Well, I tell you what, it's an easy game. The Iowa State coaches said yesterday, Najera's going to back you down. He's going to fake to his left and then do a drop step to the basket. The same move right there that they told him about. But Najera just so physical, you can't hardly stop him.
There's the answer at the other end. Fizer just spinning by Najera, and that's 8 for Fizer. That's some battle.
Yeah, it is a battle inside. Najera just turned and looked down the floor with a grimace on his face. A nice hook move by Marcus Fizer, and one of the few times that Iowa State has been able to get him the ball inside close to the basket.
Oh, what a hoop. Hollis Price, what a bucket. He has 4.
You know, just a different look of this Oklahoma team as compared to last week when I saw them at Texas. A lot more confidence in the young guards, Hollis Price and J.R. Raymond.
Nurse, this zone's been good to Oklahoma. Now Nurse fires over it. Won't fall. Tough rebound down there. And a walk. Brandon Hawkins came down with a tough board. That's the 6th turnover now charged to Iowa State. We have a timeout here. Oklahoma by a dozen. We're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company.
The man in the box must accept responsibility for his action. Was it foolish or necessary? When he skates back to the bench, will his teammates tap him on the pads? Or will they look in the opposite direction? Because in that one instant, the man in the box made a decision for all of them, and he must deal with the consequences. The NHL on ESPN. This is the game.
Introducing ESPN Extra, the brand new channel for sports fans who can't get enough. On ESPN Extra, you get more of the sports you love, like international soccer from countries around the world, plus the UEFA Champions League, international auto racing, fitness, and outdoor programming. Plus, there's EXPN, which offers exciting extreme sports programming, all on pay-per-view around the clock all week long. Watch ESPN Now or your program guide to see what's on, then order exactly like you would for a pay-per-view movie. ESPN Extra, you can't do better than that.
Do you want to know when the games begin? Tune to ESPN Now for a complete guide to all sports on television. You get continuously updated schedule information so you know exactly what's on when. Plus, get live sports and news headlines from ESPN.com and the Go Network. If you want to know what the latest sports news is and where the games are, the place to be is ESPN Now. ESPN Now. It's where sports fans go first for sports. To get ESPN Now, call your cable company.
Oklahoma up by 12, 26-14. Let's take a look at the two big guys in for each team. To watch Eduardo Najera's left foot. Watch him. He's going to take a little step to the middle, and then he's going to hook Marcus Fizer there. That allows him to get through to the basket, get clear. He loves that offensive contact. Now watch, finally Marcus Fizer gets the ball inside. It's been a long time since he's seen it that close to the basket against this Oklahoma defense, and the finish there. The two big guys really battling inside, 8 points each. It's everything we thought it was going to be as far as a matchup between Fizer and Najera.
Really, you watch these guys game in and game out, there's not much to choose from. You'd love to have them both. Fizer just has really elevated his game. He's changed his body totally in the offseason with hard work.
Great in his attitude as well. His shot selection, 45% on the year last year. This year he's up to 65%. The reason he's getting the ball inside, and look at that, Oklahoma 4 for 9 from beyond the three, getting some good early looks against this Iowa State defense.
First Oklahoma turnover there. You look at this, the league standings, Oklahoma's first in the league in three-point percentage. Iowa State's number 2 in the league, but they just haven't had many looks at it from three-point range today. Now Tinsley with the floater, won't go.
Well, this Oklahoma defense really packing it in inside, not allowing that penetration by Iowa State. What's happening, the guards are standing on the perimeter by not moving. They're not allowing their big guys to get open inside, and they're also not getting good looks from beyond the three.
Heskett. Najera trying to post Fizer down low. 16 on the shot clock. Hollis Price. With his two guards, Price and Raymond, Oklahoma, they're going to be around a while. They're a freshman and a sophomore. Najera. Fizer may have had a fingertip on that shot.
A little switch defensively there by Iowa State. Got Fizer on Najera, and he did get a hand on that time as Najera tried to take it to the basket.
Look at Fizer and Najera, and that's going to be a double foul. We just got a double foul call, I believe, on Najera and Fizer.
Well, you be the judge. Who are you going to call a foul on here? Watch the battle inside. Both guys just really going at it, and Fizer's going to come across here, try and get the hook on Najera. See the official there at the top right. Double foul both ways. Try and calm those two big guys down inside. The thing, even as an official, you don't want to see those guys sitting on the bench. You know they're the main story. You want them to be in the game. Kind of calm them down just a little bit.
That was a message call, wasn't it? Hawkins with a miss. Another rebound. Najera is 5th. And they're going to run it at the other end. Hollis Price, though, backs it out. 3 guards in the ballgame. There are a lot of 3-guard lineups in this league right now, Chris.
There are. Missouri does it as well. Both these teams do it. Texas doing it.
Kansas State's doing it. Najera way outside, missed the try, and Tinsley with a rebound and a wicked elbow, and he stepped on the out-of-bounds strike. The ball comes back to Oklahoma. 7 turnovers, Iowa State. He whistled a pretty good elbow down there, too. Nothing called on that. Kelvin, Sampson watching. Watch this.
Tinsley clear out. Just a little duck move there by Hollis Price. Or actually, I think it was Raymond. Saved him a little bit.
He says if you wanted space on the asphalt in New York, you had to make that move.
That's right. Clear him open a little bit. And talk about clear open some space. There Eustachy wants him to get a little tighter on Heskett. Heskett hit 7 of his last 10 threes now, and I think he's hit both of them today.
Yeah, he's an emotional player, too. He brings some fire to the floor. Fizer put it on the floor. And he was fouled before he could get the shot away.
Yeah, a tough place to guard Marcus Fizer. If you let him catch the ball at the high post, he's going to be able to take that ball to the basket, puts it on the floor extremely well for his size. And right now with Oklahoma, they've got Najera sitting on the bench. It's going to be tough for Oklahoma to match up inside speed-wise with Iowa State.
First foul on Victor Avila. They have he and Stone both on the floor right now.
I never call anybody slow, but I don't think Avila or Renzi Stone would be known as very quick.
No. I agree. Fizer with a miss. He has 8 today. The 6'8" junior from Arcadia, Louisiana. Recruited by Tim Floyd at Iowa State. Fizer's grandmother was a caregiver for Tim Floyd's wife's grandmother, I believe is how it worked out. And the families knew one another. Pretty good recruit. And that one won't fall. And Hollis Price nailed the rebound for Oklahoma.
You know, Marcus Fizer was a kid that a lot of schools knew about, but they thought, hey, he's just, you know, so-so. But boy, when he got in some of those all-star games and camps, he really showed the type of player that he could be.
Hollis Price just mailed an air ball. Oklahoma up 15, 29-14 the score. Nurse can't change it. Rebound grabbed by Heskett. Heskett just a tremendous shooter, and below they array those guards around there. Price, Raymond, and Heskett. They have some firepower from the arc. Now Renzi Stone. Fizer going over his back, couldn't deflect it. Now back to Stone, looking at cutters. 15 on the shot clock. Good patience, Oklahoma. Hollis Price bobbled it, saved it. 9 on the shot clock. Raymond dropped it inside to Avila. The left-handed miss. The tip, no. Look at Fizer bring it back up.
Pretty nice series defensively that time by Iowa State.
What do you got, a block or a charge? It's a block. There goes Kelvin Sampson. He is off like a rocket on the far side. He wanted a traveling call. Look at Kelvin Sampson. He is a terrific coach.
You know, the thing is, he brings so much emotion to the game, and you can see it from him. You see Avila missing the rebound. Marcus Fizer putting the ball on the floor, something that at his size you love to see, his ability to clear it and take it all the way down. Now watch him just come through, and Stone just moving just a little bit there. Gets called for the block. Real close for Marcus Fizer as well, lowering the shoulder, but Renzi Stone still moving over, trying to get the contact. He's going to get the foul called against him.
Third foul on Renzi Stone. Najera's back in the game. Stone sits down. 4:06 left in the first half. He has not fouled out of a game yet this year. Najera's pushing along the line, and Fizer buries the free throw. Kantrail, Horton, and Najera were both kind of in the lane, I think.
Yeah, Renzi Stone's had foul trouble the last couple games now with 3 fouls. They really need to have him in the game. With him sitting on the bench, Victor Avila and Jamil Haywood going to have to step forward for Oklahoma.
Marcus Fizer knocks them both down. 9 points on the day for Fizer. I thought that was 10. It is. Avila, they're just daring him to shoot it from there. They don't bother with it. J.R. Raymond, he has found the stroke. I think you called that early, Chris. He has 12 points, 4 trays. Oklahoma by 16, the biggest lead of the game.
Boy, just great confidence on his part. You know, the Iowa State defense is so aware of Najera inside that they're trying to help off just enough that's freeing up J.R. Raymond.
The Sooners are 6 for 13 from three-point range. There's another blocking foul. Tim Heskett that time.
You know, coming into the game, Larry Eustachy told his players, we're going to allow Tim Heskett, and we're going to allow we're not going to help off of Tim Heskett, and we're not going to help off of Kelly Newton. Now, if that has to change during the game, we'll do so. Obviously, Eustachy's probably going to have to say, hey, you guys are going to have to get up on J.R. Raymond and stay with him and don't get off him to help defense.
Third point for Jamaal Tinsley. We saw Larry Eustachy, the Iowa State coach, a minute ago. He did an unusual thing. He drove from Ames to the Kansas State game on Wednesday night, and they were not allowed to practice Thursdays. He just drove on down here and met them down here for the Friday practice. Tinsley has 4. 3:24 left in our first half. 14-point lead. There's Raymond, his 4th three-point bucket of the day. We'll be back.
We We want to give back to the community, and that's why a lot of us are involved in the Big Buddy program. Chance to give children something they would otherwise never see, to meet their heroes.
When I pass it to you, just give it right back. All right, now give it back. Oh! Shooting! Pass the ball! Pass the ball! Easy, man. Be a big buddy. Like defense! Get on him! Get on him!
Being a Big Buddy allows us to give back, and, you know, that feels pretty good.
Get out! Walk it off! Your parents signed the permission slip. Get up, man.
On January 29th, get ready for the film event of the year, the NFL Film Super Bowl Marathon. ESPN Classic proudly presents 2 days of the films that keep your butt planted on the couch. Starring Broadway Joe, The Snake, Hollywood Henderson, and the return of the Fun Bunch. All battling to possess the one trophy everyone wants. The NFL Film Super Bowl Marathon, January 29th, only on ESPN Classic. NFL Films, definitely old school.
The games will come to an end this weekend, but that doesn't mean you have to leave the worldwide leader in sports at home. Because the news, interviews, and analysis from your favorite ESPN personalities continues all day, every day, on over 600 radio stations nationwide. Check your local listings to find the ESPN radio station near you. ESPN Radio. Take it with you.
Oklahoma coming home. They have found the hot hand. They have a 14-point lead over Iowa State. Coming up at halftime on the National Car Rental Halftime Report, we mentioned this may be the given Saturday in the Big 12. It is upset weekend right now in college basketball. Doug Bell's in Studio 66. He'll have all that for you.
And one of the things Kelvin Sampson has to be extremely happy about right now, his offense, his guards are handling the ball so well. Only one turnover so far in this game against Iowa State. And if you're Larry Eustachy, you got to be wondering what your defense is doing pressure-wise against this Oklahoma team.
And look at Oklahoma's last 2 games. They have been a great shooting team. They've been a terrific defensive team until the last 2. Then they gave up in their last 2 an average of 85 points a game.
Hey, look at the difference in the game. 6 for 13 for Oklahoma beyond the 3-point line. Iowa State is only 6 for 17 total shots. So Oklahoma obviously using their 3-point shooting ability extremely well.
Top 2 3-point shooting teams in the league. Oklahoma #1, Iowa State #2, but Iowa State's only tried a pair of threes here today. And Oklahoma, meanwhile, burning the net. 6 for 13 from behind the arc, and Najera knocks down a tough 2. He has 10 points today. Najera, 10 points on the day to go along with 5 rebounds so far.
You know, the more I watch him, I'm just astounded at his ability to get the shot off. He is just so strong. That last possession, Iowa State really had great defensive pressure all over him, and he was still able to get it up, use the glass to allow that ability of his strength to get the ball to the basket.
Avila and Najera forcing the turnover that time. They sandwiched Fizer. Avila says his mother and Najera are the 2 most inspirational people in his life. He followed Avila to Cornerstone Christian High School in San Antonio.
Well, great article in Sports Illustrated on Najera, and really Najera an inspiration for a lot of people, a lot of kids in Mexico to start playing basketball.
I say Oklahoma jerseys with his numbers showing up all over Mexico on kids now, and nobody knows where they're getting them. Najera missed that time, and here comes Iowa State. They're hungry for something. They're down by 16 points. Michael Nurse getting it back out of there. That's Horton. Made a move, got open, missed the shot, and we've got a foul on the boards down underneath. I think they got Marcus Fizer. That's going to be his second.
Well, the defensive pursuit by Oklahoma has just really been tremendous. That possession, Iowa State looked like they had the initial advantage. And watch, Oklahoma gets right back at it. Eduardo Najera showing on the defense there. His guy was trying to pick him, but he was able to at least get a hand up in the face of Kantrail Horton.
Oklahoma having it their way right now. 1:52 left in half. They lead by 16. And they are burning it from 3-point range. Najera, oh, what a tough catch down inside. Double team. Throws it up anyway. Can't get it. What a catch he made. And now Najera's on the floor. And hurt at the other end. Oklahoma takes the ball away from Iowa State. Najera getting up. And now we have a whistle blowing because of the injury. Kelvin Sampson coming to his player, but looking at an official. Go back and take a look.
Watch Stevie Johnson just go right through Najera here. I don't think anything intentional happened. The guy's just going for the loose ball. The ball goes down, and Najera going to get triple teamed inside here. Of course, he still finds a way to get the shot off, but he's on the floor. He's trying to come back up. Stevie Johnson running down the floor, just runs right over him. Never saw him, nothing intentional there, but I'll tell you what, Najera won't be down long. This kid is as tough as they come.
Iowa State's last field goal came at the 7:45 mark. It's been 6 minutes since they made a field goal. Kelvin Sampson talking to Avila now. They're going to get Najera out of the bench, and they may just let him sit. His team up by 16.
You know, I remember Eduardo at a game his sophomore year at Oklahoma State. He had the stress fracture in his foot. He was just really beat up, having to play a lot of minutes, but he just kept on playing. He fights through pain. Look at that, a little rub on there. He's ready to go.
He's coming back in the ball.
That's good. That's enough.
You know, if there's a more valuable player in the league, I don't know who it is.
Well,
I really don't. I just admire that kid.
He just plays with so much emotion, so much heart on his sleeve. He's a physical player. You know, one of the things I wanted to say earlier about Fizer and Najera, you look at their numbers, but really the story about these guys is their heart, their intensity on the floor, how tough they play, and how many minutes they play.
He's now being called the best player ever out of Mexico. Now we've got a foul on Avila.
Well, you talk to Kelvin Sampson about Najera, and you know, he's saying, hey, I got to tell the trainer to put ice on his knee and get him out of practice, because otherwise I can't make the kid stop. He just plays all the time, practices the full time, and he's played 79 out of 80 minutes the last 2 games.
34-18 Oklahoma at the moment, with Michael Nurse on the free throw line for Iowa State. 2 for 2 at the line, his only points of the day. Nurse free throw good. Oklahoma wedging a comeback here today after dropping those on the road at Texas and Colorado. Najera back on the floor.
Yeah, I like Kelvin Sampson's quote in the article about Najera. He said pain is an opinion, and Eduardo Najera has a low opinion of pain.
Michael Nurse taking a lot of time at the line and didn't get it. And guess who got the board? Eduardo Najera. Here's some. Heskett. Hollis Price right back to Heskett. 50 seconds left in the half. Avila against Fizer. Might be wanting just to draw a foul on him. Missed the shot. And Stevie Johnson with the rebound. That's quick. Michael Nurse got it down to Johnson. Tough shot blocked by Avila. Picked off by Najera.
Boy, every time you think Iowa State's got an opening to the basket, it just closes so quickly. And Oklahoma's defense inside has just been fantastic. Watch Oklahoma on the rotation here. Nurse going to get all the way to the basket. A nice little pass over, but Avila gets there just in time to be able to get a hand on this shot and deflect it over.
Then the turnover. Stevie Johnson will play it in now for Iowa State. And we're going to have a quick timeout taken just before the half. 32.5 seconds left in first half action here. Paul Shirley, as you see, is in for Iowa State. 34-19. Great defensive work by Oklahoma. Iowa State has just 19 shots.
You know, only 9 turnovers, but Oklahoma has just been so effective defensively. Only 2 offensive rebounds for Iowa State, so no real good looks at the basket. And you know, the other thing is Iowa State, even when they've tried to push the ball and had numbers, Oklahoma's defense has regrouped extremely well.
14 for 32 for Oklahoma, 6 for 19 Iowa State. Let's compare what the guards have done here today. J.R. Raymond with those 4 trays, winning the statistical battle here right now.
Well, he's just been unconscious. He came out with a lot of confidence and taking a look at the basket early, and he's had good looks. You know, you give this Oklahoma team an inch, they're going to be able to hit it. One of the things that Texas last Saturday did so well against Oklahoma was they pushed their guards out beyond that 3-point line, so when they caught the ball, they were out of their range.
Oklahoma's made as many trays as Iowa State has goals, and they don't have a 3, Iowa State. 6 for 13 from 3-point land for Oklahoma here. 0 for 2 Iowa State. Oklahoma shot 50% or better in 5 of their first 9 games. They haven't reached 50% in their last 8, but they're right at that figure today. They're 14 for 32. Iowa State winning the last shot. 10 on the shot clock. Horton, Fizer, that's the man they wanted. Avila's right there with him. Fizer couldn't find the shot, and it's tipped out of bounds with 3.5 seconds left on the clock for halftime.
Good job by Avila to keep Marcus Fizer pushed away from the basket, and then Najera came over for the double.
Stevie Johnson's going to have to fire it in a hurry, and got a tough shot away. Wouldn't fall. That's tough shooting luck right there. And Marcus Fizer talking to the official as he leaves the floor. Didn't like something. It's been a terrific first half for Oklahoma. That man Kelvin Sampson sees his club taking a 15-point lead to the locker room at halftime, and tremendous defense. That zone was really effective for him. So it's 34-19, Oklahoma by 15. And we come back, Doug Bell's in Studio 66 to tell you about some interesting happenings so far today in college basketball. Doug will be right with you. 19 out shooting Iowa State by a bunch. We'll take a look at all that stuff. Welcome back. And right along with Chris Piper, and time now to take a look at the Shelter Insurance first half highlights. Most of them obviously have belonged to Oklahoma.
Well, watch J.R. Raymond. This game's all about confidence, and he's got it right now. Just coming off a little screen there, getting that wide open shot, and just showing a lot of emotion. This Oklahoma team fired up. Eustachy knew that he was going to get Oklahoma's A game. And you talk about an A player, Eduardo Najera just taking it and powering right through Stevie Johnson inside. Iowa State has to get some help defensively against Najera inside. And one of the few times that Fizer was able to break loose against that zone defense inside, a nice pass over the top by Jamaal Tinsley to get Marcus Fizer the ball inside.
Shelter Insurance for your life, home, car, farm, or business. Shelter will always be there for you. Now let's take a look at the Buick first half stats, and this is really one-sided, especially in the three-point shooting department.
Well, you know, the difference is Oklahoma is getting some open looks against the Iowa State defense. On the other hand, Oklahoma is doing something they haven't done in the last couple of games. Their defense is dictating Iowa State's offense and not allowing them any open looks from the outside. Iowa State usually gets up about 11 threes. Look at that, only 2 here this afternoon. Also, Marcus Fizer, he just can't get any shots. He's got 8 points, but he's only got 5 field goal attempts. So the Oklahoma defense doing a great job of keeping the ball out of Marcus Fizer's hands inside.
There's Najera. When you come back, if you see him, you'll notice he's now wearing a knee brace. We'll be back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the performance company.
He was part of the animal group.
To study the mind of a convicted killer.
Are you a murderer? Oh, yeah.
A psychiatrist.
If you don't talk to me, I can't help you.
Is prepared to risk everything. Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins.
Never had control. You only thought you had it.
Academy Award winner Cuba Gooding Jr.
He's leading me into the jungle.
He's leading you? Instinct.
What are you up to? Therapy?
Now on pay-per-view, rated R.
Introducing ESPN Extra, the brand new channel for sports fans who can't get enough. On ESPN Extra, you get more of the sports you love, like international soccer from countries around the world, plus the UEFA Champions League, international auto racing, fitness, and outdoor programming. Plus, there's EXPN, which offers exciting extreme sports programming, all on pay-per-view around the clock all week long. Watch ESPN Now or your program guide to see what's on, then order exactly like you would for a pay-per-view movie. ESPN Extra, you can't do better than that.
Basic human instinct tells us that we should avoid fast-moving projectiles at all costs. But for a select few, this is not the rule. They are the most primitive athlete in all of sports. They are a different breed. For they are the ones who, against all impulse and desire, volunteer to place themselves in front of the target. The NHL on ESPN. This is the game.
Big 12 basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66. Where we put the best in our super clean gasolines so you can get the most out of your car. Choose Phillips 66, the performance company.
Packed house here at Lloyd Noble Arena today, and they've seen Oklahoma have their way with it so far. 34-19 they lead Iowa State as we go to the second half. Along with Chris Piper, I'm Fred White. Nice to have you with us. Been some day in the Big 12 already. Missouri beating Kansas, Texas A&M beating Oklahoma State. Chris, we talked about this before the game. It's really hard to figure out who's the best team in this conference. There is a lot of parity in the Big 12 right now.
There really is. You know, there's a lot of teams that are all right in the mix together. A lot of teams that, when you talk about them, you talk about matchups, are similar. These two teams here that we're watching this afternoon, similar as well. 3 guard lineups, 2 guys inside. Got your main men in Najera and Fizer. So a lot of teams look alike in the Big 12 this year.
You mentioned Iowa State with 2 3-point attempts. Why is that?
Well, the Oklahoma defense is just really pushing them out away from the basket. Also not getting any movement against this Oklahoma defense. You know, it's strange. Although Oklahoma's defense is packed in with Fizer, their guards have extended well and not allowed Iowa State good looks.
I think all that spells hustle and intensity.
Good pursuit defensively.
Now Najera's taking that knee brace back off. He came out with it on at halftime, took it back off. Raymond three-point attempt, won't fall. Hollis Price got a hand on it. Now the break, and there's Fizer, and here we go. Don't stick your hand in there.
At that time, you do not want to be the rim, because Fizer's probably got just a little bit of emotion built up.
Oh, why can't I be the center circle for a minute? 34-21 Oklahoma. If that had happened in Hilton Coliseum, this place would be rocking right now, but it happened in Norman.
A great defense that time by Stevie Johnson. Actually blocked that shot of Eduardo Najera, stayed with him. You know, one of the things that Najera will do is when he turns, he's going to body, he's going to push you, and he usually gets that distance that he needs. But that time, Stevie Johnson just got physical right back with him and was able to maintain his defensive pressure.
There's a three-point try off the front of the rim, and Iowa State 0 for 3. Michael Nurse tried one.
Well, and that's one of the first times that I've seen Iowa State be ready for the ball on the perimeter when that ball's been swung. That time Nurse ready to catch it, ready to take up the shot.
That's Johnson. Nolan Johnson's fourth point of the day. That was in Manhattan Wednesday night, Chris, when Iowa State beat Kansas State. But before that game, Larry Eustachy said, you watch. Colorado's going to beat Oklahoma in Boulder, and we're going to have to go down there and play them. We're going to hit an angry basketball team. He called the shot on the game, and he's kind of called the shot on this one. A lot of intensity brought to the floor today by Oklahoma. And a whistle blowing as the shot went up from Jamaal Tinsley. Second foul.
Oh, you talk to Kelvin Sampson. What's going on with this Oklahoma team the last couple of games? And really, there's nothing major wrong with them. It's just they've got a lot of young players that are trying to figure out how to play, and more importantly, they're trying to figure out how to play defensively. You know, you've got J.R. Raymond and Hollis Price, two first-year players at guard position, and they have to learn how to be physical. They have to learn how to dictate things defensively, and that's something that they've had good success here this afternoon so far. But now Iowa State kind of came out early and has Oklahoma back on their heels just a little bit as far as the momentum goes.
And you know what? And this is a great coaches league. I'm not sure there's anybody better at preparing a team to play a game than Kelvin Sampson. He really, really works at it.
Well, emotionally as well. These guys just show so much emotion. They play so hard. But Iowa State, Larry Eustachy as well. I tell you what, both are great coaches at preparing their teams and teaching exactly the things that they need to do to be successful.
Larry Eustachy came up with a loose ball that time, jumped about 3 feet in the air, gave it to an official, and also offered him some advice as he gave him the ball.
That's exactly right. Eustachy's right in here. He's going to get the guy the loose ball. Of course, Kantrail Horton calling for the foul on Nolan Johnson.
And didn't get the call. Oklahoma's got the basketball up by 13. We're putting this there. Look at Raymond. Dump it off. Hollis Price, three-point try. No. Najera got a hand on it, shoveled it out, and Oklahoma keeps it. Nolan Johnson. Heavy country down in there. A lot of red jerseys. It's still fought for in there. And now Iowa State, Tinsley. Nice soft little shot.
He loves a little one-handed runner in the paint. It's just that's a playground shot right there. You're taking it into the big boys. You release it early, let it get a little loft up there, soft off the rim.
Iowa State coming back now, down by 11. Oh, Price was all alone, didn't shoot the three. Now Nolan Johnson's going to back it out. Oklahoma really showing some patience right now. 13 on the shot clock. They try to Najera on Stevie Johnson there to take it away. Iowa State with a chance now to get it down to single digits. Fizer, tough left-handed reverse, won't fall. Michael Nurse has it. Now Fizer trying to post Renzi Stone, who has 3 fouls. Shoots over him. And good. Marcus Fizer has 14 points. And now it's a 9-point ball game.
Nice job by Marcus Fizer. He realized that Renzi Stone wasn't able to guard him up close on him, so he took what he gave him. He took the little jumper there on the baseline.
They go to Najera for the answer, and in heavy traffic, he's fouled. No shot. Iowa State wanted a travel call.
Well, when you're Najera, you know that you're going to attract a crowd every time you catch the ball. Iowa State, all of them, not real great pressure on them, but they're there. Their presence is there, and he knows Marcus Fizer's behind him. Iowa State puts Oklahoma to the free throw line for the first time this afternoon. And that, to me, is an unusual stat.
Very.
I mean, as much as Najera caught the ball in the first half, he never went to the free throw line.
Najera short with a try. He's a 70% shooter. Heskett replaces Lamar Johnson for Oklahoma. Najera, the 6'8" senior from Chihuahua, Mexico, played at Cornerstone Christian Academy in San Antonio. Has over 1,000 career points. Timeout here. We're back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66, the performance company.
There was no way that we could win this game. We didn't have a shot. I mean, it was American kids. They were like 22 years old. They're fighting against these big Russian guys, and there was no chance. And then...
You've got to call 1-800-CLASSIC to get ESPN Classic. The games will come to an end this weekend, but that doesn't mean you have to leave the worldwide leader in sports at home. Because the news, interviews, and analysis from your favorite ESPN personalities continues all day, every day on over 600 radio stations nationwide. Check your local listings to find the ESPN radio station near you. ESPN Radio. Take it with you.
While hockey at times seems chaotic, it is the superstar who is able to bring about order. The one who dominates finds a way to make time go faster for his opponent, while at the same moment extending his own time to create opportunity. The NHL on ESPN. This is the game.
A Studio 66 update from Boulder. And Jockway Walls of Colorado is bombs away, just inside the stripe. Right now it's 47-42, Buffs on top. Let's go back to Norman, Fred, and Chris.
All right, thank you, Doug Bell. And Chris, I want to pass along best wishes here to Claire Brown. She's the 7-year-old daughter of Iowa State assistant coach Randy Brown. She's in University Hospital and Clinic in Iowa City right now, and the whole Cyclone contingent and all the rest of us thinking of her today and sending along best wishes. Back to the ball game, Stevie Johnson, Michael Nurse. Down the lane over Renzi Stone and got it. Tough shot, Michael Nurse. He has 5 points.
Well, Iowa State's got to get something happening from their guards. Their 3 guards that started the game were 1 for 10 with 7 points in the first half. These are guys that have to score some points for Iowa State to be able to get back in this game.
Clinic on the jump stop and shot at the other end. Najera. 13 for Najera.
He doesn't do anything soft. Everything is just strong to the basket. Even the jump stop, you don't even want to get in the way of that.
I don't know why they teach jump stops in camps all the time. You just saw them.
Well, watch J.R. Raymond on this. Pretty much sticking right with Michael Nurse, even when the ball's on the opposite side of the paint.
There was a bump in the lane that time on the drive and a foul call. The time against Tim Heskett, that's his second foul.
It's a tough matchup when you're trying to guard Jamaal Tinsley when he's got the ball in his hands. Probably the quickest guard that I've seen in the Big 12 with the ball in his hands. This guy can just go right by you. Got to give him a couple steps.
Oh, what a battle on the baseline. Fizer spun around Najera. Stone was there. There was a collision and a missed shot.
There's always a collision when Renzi Stone's around.
Isn't that the truth? Oh, what a great drive by Hollis Price, and they lost the handle on. Renzi Stone also is a Rhodes Scholar candidate. Najera now has a double-double, 13 points and 10 rebounds. That's good with the inbounds.
Not a bad feat for Renzi Stone when you consider only 7 out of the University of Oklahoma were nominated. And there's Tim Heskett picking up right where he left off as well.
Tell you what, that was interesting. When they threw it in bounds, you could tell he was feeling the shot when he got the ball. He just went to the spot and fired it and knocked it down, and he's 3 for 4 in three-point range today. Trying the answer at the other end, Michael Nurse, and it isn't there. Raymond working on Michael Nurse, but way out near the timeline. Stone comes to help.
Iowa State extending their defense more this second half than they did the first half, trying to push Oklahoma away from the basket.
Good defense there by Kantrail Norton. Shut down Hollis Price. Heskett has it and is blocked from behind by Tinsley and then shoved a little bit. It's out of bounds to Oklahoma under their own basket with 12 on the shot clock. Larry Eustachy, second year at Iowa State.
Boy, what a great job he did last year. I mean, that's a team that didn't have anybody sitting on the bench, and he still put together a pretty good season.
And they made as big a turnaround as anybody in college basketball right now, it seems.
Well, got 6 new scholarship players on the team. I mean, it's tough to get a team gelled that quickly, and this Iowa State team has really played well early in the season.
Fizer gets his 16th point, and he will go to the line, and that's 4 fouls now on Renzi Stone with 13:49 to play.
Yeah, one of the things you want to do if you're struggling shooting the ball is get easy baskets, and the best way to do that's transition. Iowa State pushing the ball down the floor, and no big man in the league runs the floor as well as Marcus Fizer. Renzi Stone now with 4 fouls going to have to take a seat. Oklahoma again going to have to rely on Victor Avila.
Kelvin Sampson said about Renzi Stone, a lot of guys get a lot of publicity, but how about this kid? Every team he's played on has gone to the NCAA tournaments.
Well, he's just a solid player, too. He's strong. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He gives you good physical play inside. Not the quickest guy in the world, but I tell you what he does well. And that's a lot of times players try to do too much, but he doesn't. He takes what the game gives him and goes with that.
Comes from an athletic family. His dad played football at Tulane. Mom's trying to do. Has a brother at Long Beach State. There's a battle for the basketball. Heskett's going to win it. Look for help. 3 guards on the floor again for Oklahoma. They can all shoot the 3. Nurse coming out to pick up Raymond and try to disrupt the offense before they can get into it. Najera posting Evans. They haven't been able to get it to him yet. Now they do. Bump on the baseline. Evans tries to seal him off. The shot misses. Pretty good defense down in there by Evans.
You know, it's unusual to see him not call that foul when the player's just standing straight up and the offense draws the contact. Marcus Fizer got something in the eye that time, but Iowa State staying at home defensively against Najera and making him play right through him.
Marcus Fizer trying to make a tough over-the-shoulder catch on the dead run and got a finger in the eye, it looks like. 13:02 left in this. Long way to go. Iowa State still down by 11, down by 15 at halftime. As many as 16 in the first half. No sympathy for Fizer from the Oklahoma fans. They're urging him to get on with the game.
They're urging him to get out of the game, actually. They'd like to see him sitting on the bench.
Yeah, really. Nurse blocked by Heskett.
And Michael Nurse probably trying to do a little bit too much with the ball. He's better at stand-up shooter on the outside, with Jamaal Tinsley handling the ball and creating the open shots for Nurse.
Heskett off the move, couldn't get it. Tip in down there by J.R. Raymond.
Well, second shots. If you're Larry Eustachy, you don't want to see Oklahoma's point guard getting inside for an offensive rebound.
$14 points now for Raymond. 13-point lead Oklahoma. Tinsley trying to find some room on the baseline. Couldn't, lost the ball. Hollis Price, J.R. Raymond. Back to Price. 3-point, gave it up. Shot wasn't there, and they turn it over. 5 turnovers only for Oklahoma today. They have really taken care of the ball.
Yeah, they have. They've taken good looks at the basket. They've taken what's happened, and see J.R. Raymond sneaking inside underneath there for that offensive rebound. You know, one of the nice things about having Hollis Price on the floor as well as J.R. Raymond is if J.R. Raymond can sneak to the basket, Hollis Price gets back on defense as the point guard.
In the deep corner, Horton shot no. Avila with the rebound for Oklahoma.
Tough shots right now for Iowa State. Not getting any assists because they're trying to make everything happen on their own. You see the turnovers there. Oklahoma only with 5.
You mentioned it earlier, Chris. They're averaging just under 13 a game, the best in the conference. They really take care of the ball.
Well, you know, if you play good defense and you don't make mistakes offensively, it's pretty tough to get beat.
Raymond, Najera, Heskett. Nurse has him shut down. Raymond goes by Tinsley, a little floater, no. And Horton had it and lost it. It's out of bounds to Oklahoma. We have a timeout here. 11:14 left in this game. 13-point lead to Oklahoma. Larry Eustachy trying to figure a way back for his club.
Are these guys tough or what, huh? How about it? Whoa, what a ball.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for some football?
The biggest event in television is coming to ABC. Get ready for Super Bowl 34, Sunday, January 30th.
Introducing ESPN Extra, the brand new channel for sports fans who can't get enough. On ESPN Extra, you get more of the sports you love, like international soccer from countries around the world, plus the UEFA Champions League, international auto racing, fitness, and outdoor programming. Plus, there's EXPN, which offers exciting extreme sports programming, all on pay-per-view around the clock all week long. Watch ESPN Now or your program guide to see what's on, then order exactly like you would for a pay-per-view movie. ESPN Extra, you can't do better than that.
We are back. Today's game is brought to you by Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasolines so you get the most out of your car. Choose Phillips 66, the performance company.
Well, Iowa State still 0 for the three-point line. 0 for 5, just not finding any good looks at the basket. And, you know, the tough thing about getting behind against Oklahoma, especially here, is Oklahoma's a very good half-court team offensively. That three-guard lineup, it's tough to pressure them. Oklahoma going to try and be selective. They're not going to quit playing the game, don't take me wrong. They're going to be just a little more selective, though.
It's interesting. The only quick shot I can remember Oklahoma taking this half is Heskett off the inbounds pass, knocked down a three-pointer.
And that's usually a set play. You know, you're looking if that option is open early, take it.
Now 16 on the shot clock. Hollis Price. Oklahoma patient. Heskett with the catch. Now Raymond, 9 on the shot clock. Now they go inside. Avila works against Fizer. Can't get the shot. And it's knocked loose at the baseline. Whose ball? Oklahoma's going to get it back with a fresh shot clock.
Well, Jamaal Tinsley in there trying to box out Najera. Larry Eustachy knows that's not going to be a winning battle when you've got Tinsley trying to keep that big body off the glass.
Paul Shirley on the floor now with Fizer. Heskett launches off the inbounds pass and missed badly.
Probably not Tim Heskett's shot in that kind of situation. He's a guy that rarely shoots the ball inside the three-point line, and that time he's standing right on it. Not a good shot for Tim Heskett. He's better off 2 or 3 feet behind the three-point line, I think, than inside of it.
Think about this. 48 of his 51 baskets this year have come from behind the arc, to emphasize your point, Chris. Most of his shots obviously come from out there. All but 3 of his field goals this year from behind the arc. Now Avila backs in on Fizer and made the shot. Big bucket for Victor Avila, his first of the day.
And used up 15 seconds of the clock as well.
Look at the difference in the field goal shooting now as this comes up for you by halves. Oklahoma really cooled off in the second half. Iowa State's picked up the pace, but Oklahoma still leading by 15. And now we have a foul down inside. Fizer and Avila hooked up, and Avila gets whistled for the foul. That's his third, 4th. Make that. Renzi Stone has 4. And a little problem for Kelvin Sampson, who wanted his call. Excuse me, it is the 3rd on Avila.
Paul Shirley in the game for Iowa State. He's a name that we have not mentioned at all this game, and he's coming off a big game against K-State. Had 14 points, but he has just not been in the game much here this afternoon.
Nurse had it deflected, saves it. 17 on the shot clock. Oklahoma making Iowa State use valuable seconds up, and now the three-pointer there. The first three-pointer of the day for Iowa State.
Well, And Iowa State is a good three-point shooting team. You've got Kantrail Horton, who just hit that at 49%. Michael Nurse at 45%, so they can hit that shot.
Michael Nurse with a bucket at the other end. And signs of life here now from Iowa State. Michael Nurse has 7 points and a quick 5-point run here by Iowa State, and it's down to single digits again. Well, no, it isn't. It's 10 points. Close. Heskett. Najera trying to get posted against Shirley down inside, and a whistle and a foul.
Physical play inside. Paul Shirley, a tough player inside, will play some strong defense, and he's trying to keep Najera from catching the ball a couple feet outside that lane where Eduardo is so good. Watch these two guys battling. Paul Shirley beating him to the spot, trying to front him, but Najera just so good at bringing his arms over the top, getting you behind him, and then keeping you there.
It's only the 7th foul on Iowa State today. 14 have been whistled against Oklahoma. Since the whistle early in the double foul call, the officials really haven't blown their whistles very much, and there's a problem.
Well, you know, you gotta love the fact that you don't have a lot of fouls, but you can't play defense without fouling either. And when you look at only 7 fouls, you gotta wonder a little bit about the pressure that you're applying to the other team, because you're gonna get fouls trying to get up in somebody's face. Oklahoma's a physical team. They play a physical brand of basketball, and you have to play them physically, defensively, or they're going to get good looks at the basket. And that was what Oklahoma did in the first half. They got good looks at the basket.
Nurse, they're mailed a three-pointer that wouldn't go, and Fizer fights for the rebound. Now putting it on the floor and giving it up.
Well, you talk about going for a rebound. Najera had Fizer on his back that time, and Fizer just went right through him to get that ball.
Shirley fighting hard and got the bucket and a whistle. Count the basket. That's a big basket. Paul Shirley really working hard, and that's going to be 4 fouls now on Victor Avila.
I'm not sure Shirley even saw that shot, but look at the rebound here this time by Fizer. Just he's sandwiched in between 2 guys, but with his body size, he's just able to go up and get that ball.
That foul was on Fizer, his 3rd, not on Avila. So, but count the basket, and it's 46-38. So now it's an 8-point ball game. That's a big bucket for Shirley and Iowa State. Now Sooners turn it over, and the Cyclones have a shot at making a run. Heskett's going to come back in the game for Oklahoma.
Young guards for Oklahoma. J.R. Raymond, Hollis, Price, young guards for this team. Nolan Johnson, a first-year player as well. So one of the things that this team is still learning for Oklahoma is how to handle pressure situations. And right now, you know, you're trying to slow your offense down a little bit, get good shots.
Heskett comes back on the floor wearing a different jersey number, 13. He had blood on his other one, I'm sure.
Well, he wasn't hot enough in the other one. He missed a shot.
Now another whistle. Well, when I say the whistles haven't been blowing very much, here we go. Another foul. Foul on Najera. His 2nd.
See the battle going on inside there. Najera and Fizer, and they're going to call Najera for the foul.
Timeout here, 7:53 to play. We're back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company.
Get into the zone, the ESPN Zone, the ultimate sports dining and entertainment experience. Eat great food, watch any game that you want, and compete in our sports arena. ESPN Zone. What more do you need? In Baltimore, visit the Zone at 601 East Pratt Street. In Chicago, on the corner of Ohio and Wabash. And in New York's Times Square on the corner of 42nd and Broadway. And coming soon, ESPN Zones in Atlanta and Washington, D.C.
He was part of the animal group. To study the mind of a convicted killer.
Are you a murderer? Oh, yeah.
A psychiatrist.
If you don't talk to me, I can't help you.
Is prepared to risk everything. Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins.
Never had control. You only thought you had it.
Academy Award winner Cuba Gooding Jr.
He's leading me into the jungle.
He's leading you? Instinct.
What are you up to? Therapy?
Now on pay-per-view, rated R.
Do you want to know when the games begin? Tune to ESPN Now for a complete guide to all sports on television. You get continuously updated schedule information so you know exactly what's on when. Plus, get live sports and news headlines from ESPN.com and the Go Network. If you want to know what the latest sports news is and where the games are, the place to be is ESPN Now. ESPN Now. It's where sports fans go first for sports. To get ESPN Now, call your cable company.
Iowa State fought their way back into it, down by 8, 7:53 to play. And now let's take a look at the sleep-in game summary. This is a typical story, I should say, for Iowa State. I can say that. They have made more free throws this year than their opponents have shot.
Well, they're having great success getting to the free throw line. They're not putting Oklahoma at the line at all. Oklahoma had their first attempt at the free throw line here in the second half. Raymond with 14 points, but only 2 of those points are here in the second half. Najera as well, only 3 points in the second half for Oklahoma.
So Iowa State down by 8 with the basketball, trying to find a little breathing room. Kantrail Horton apparently got poked in the eye.
Oklahoma trying to change up their defense a little bit, get a little bit fire in them, going with the trap on the side.
Long three-point try missed. Oklahoma with the board. They need help. Raymond had put it on the floor, didn't have a dribble. And they get it across with 1 second to spare. The 10-second count on. So now the Sooners go to work again. Kelvin Sampson may turn them loose, say stop burning the clock. Just restart your engine, let's go. Although now they've got it down to 9 seconds. So that won't happen this possession. Najera put it on the floor. Now they've got the three-point try. Big bucket. J.R. Raymond.
Boy, perfect execution offensively by Oklahoma that time. And the extra pass by Hollis Price for the wide open J.R. Raymond. You get the 3 and you get 31 seconds burned off the clock.
The Oklahoma zone takes the ball away. Raymond being pursued by Horton. Throws it back outside. Heskett lets it fly and he caught it. Quick run by Oklahoma, and Tim Heskett knocks down another big one. He has 4 trays today. And the Sooners have pumped the life back into Lloyd Noble Arena. 6:41 to play. They are back up by 14 points. Quick timeout taken by Larry Eustachy.
Well, sometimes you don't do anything wrong. The other team just hits some shots. But the turnover keys Oklahoma on that transition. They get the wide open 3, and Eustachy talking to his team right now. You know, the opportunities offensively for Iowa State are going to be harder and harder as this game goes on, because Oklahoma is going to continue to use up that clock. And you see the huge disparity there in the three-point line. Oklahoma 9 for 19. And pretty good looks. It takes real good looks to be able to shoot that kind of percentage. You see Heskett wide open, created by the nice pass by J.R. Raymond in the fast break.
They have all 9 of those threes too. Raymond has 5 and Heskett has 4. 6:35 to play. From the deep corner, that 3 good. That was Kantrail Horton knocking one down. His second 3 of the ball game. Iowa State's second 3 of the ball game.
Well, you know, that 3 has been open most of the game against this Oklahoma zone, because the guy that's got to come out to guard that shot is going to be one of their big guys, and can't expect Victor Avila to get out that far when the ball's swung pretty quickly.
Najera's been fairly quiet in the second half. He has 3 points this half, 13 in the game. Fizer has 16. Najera also has 10 boards. Fizer has 4. Quick move, Raymond inside to Avila, spins on Fizer. The shot misses. Avila's got it back, puts it up, no. And Iowa State comes out with it, knocked loose by Najera, and Fizer moving on Heskett, and a little off-balance jumper, and he knocked it down. Shirley and Najera tangle as they come out of there. 18 points now for Fizer.
Well, a quick timeout there. They got sweat on the floor, and Najera went down for that loose ball coming down the floor. Fizer actually did the splits right there, and he pointed over to the bench, and Kelvin Sampson said to the official, yeah, go ahead and call a timeout, because the ball was in Oklahoma's hands.
We are in Lloyd Noble Arena here in Norman. Big 12 basketball coming away from Oklahoma. Oklahoma leading Iowa State 52-43 in a Big 12 battle here this afternoon. With Chris Piper, Fred White, happy to have you along with us. Missouri knocked off Kansas earlier today. Texas A&M beat Oklahoma State in College Station today. Nebraska action later today. Colorado leading Kansas State, the last we heard from Studio 66, and that'll be updated for you. Doug Bell will have all the action. J.R. Raymond Tim Heskett got Horton in the air, didn't shoot it. Now Najera will, 4-3. And what a huge bucket for Najera. I said he'd been quiet. He just made a noise. The first other than J.R. Raymond or Tim Heskett to knock down a 3 for Oklahoma today. And there's that floater from Tinsley at the other end.
And that's something that Iowa State has not been able to do most of the game, and that's get penetration against this Oklahoma defense. Oh, Michael Nurse just took one there from Lavina.
Tinsley on the run. Tinsley now has a dozen points. Out in Boulder, we understand Colorado leading Kansas State by 3 right now, 59-56. Here it's Oklahoma up by 8 with 4:40 to play. J.R. Raymond, Nurse jabbing at the ball, couldn't get it. Avila rolling into the lane, giving it up. Looked like a volleyball game down there between those two. Najera double team, put it on the floor and taken away by Iowa State. That's Horton. He has a couple of threes in this thing. Deep corner, Tinsley. In and out, and Najera comes down with the board. Najera, there's a 30-second timeout taken here. Najera looked like maybe he'd been whacked in the head or something. He kind of bent over and took a deep breath. Oklahoma now has an 8-point lead with 4:11 to play. Najera now has 11 rebounds. Big 12 standings coming into this game. Iowa State at 4-0, maybe losing for the first time here. Kansas, Missouri 4-1 after the Missouri win today. Oklahoma State and Texas 3-1. Oklahoma 2-2. And in the second half, there's A&M with the win today over Oklahoma State. Colorado and Kansas State matched up out in Boulder. Colorado leading by 3 in that game. And there's the rest of it. Texas Tech 0-3. Boy, they're about due to pop somebody.
Had some bad luck, haven't they?
They have.
Tell you what, it's so tough to win on the road in this league. And Kelvin Sampson, you know, talking to him before the Texas game as well, he said, hey, it's tough to win on the road. And all of a sudden now, the Oklahoma laid out of that timeout. They put the ball down on the floor, and by the time Oklahoma got there to inbound it, they'd already used up about 3 seconds.
So Iowa State has the ball on the turnover. Nurse, deep corner. Oh, what a huge turn that could be. Michael Nurse has 10, and now all of a sudden it's a 5-point lead for Oklahoma. Renzi Stone just planted Michael Nurse with a pick to help Raymond get it up court.
That's twice now that Nurse has got picked off full court. He's got to get his teammates to do a little bit of talking, or he's going to have a serious headache here when he goes home.
Well, John Chaney tell his Temple team one time, hey, if you saw there's going to be a wreck, wouldn't you honk your horn? Well, tell that guy he's about to be in a wreck.
Well, when you're going up against Renzi Stone, you're going to end up being the loser most of the time.
Yeah, you are. 3:44 to play. Timeout. Oklahoma up by 5. Iowa State on a 7-0 run. Can they get back? We'll find out. You come back.
On January 29th, get ready for the film event of the year. The NFL Film Super Bowl Marathon. ESPN Classic proudly presents 2 days of the films that keep your butt planted on the couch. Starring Broadway Joe, The Snake, Hollywood Henderson, and the return of the Fun Bunch. All battling to possess the one trophy everyone wants. The NFL Film Super Bowl Marathon, January 29th, only on ESPN Classic. NFL Films, definitely old school.
People think I live a pampered life, but I work hard to keep up my business. For example, no matter how late I was out the night before or how much I want to hit that snooze button, I always manage to wake up first thing in the morning and catch that 11 a.m. Sports Center.
Powering up, you got it. 3 homers in 3 days of tornado tactics to start the season.
It's not easy, but it's all about commitment.
I know this guy that used to play professional football. In 1983, he tore all the tendons in his pinky. They told him he could get an operation and miss a few games, or he could chop it off and keep playing. He told them to chop it off. Ronnie Lott is old school.
You've got to call 1-800-CLASSIC to get ESPN Classic.
From Studio 66, it's time for the Sonic Drive to Kansas City, brought to you by Sonic, America's drive-in. Just in case you missed it, Mizzou upsets number 8 Kansas 81-59, and A&M knocks off number 12 OSU. Let's go back to Fred and Chris in Norman.
Thank you, Doug. We are back with 3:42 to play. Oklahoma's lead down to 5. Iowa State has shot 62% in the second half and cooled off Oklahoma. Near interception, but they lose the ball. Iowa State at the baseline. Oklahoma's shooting only 38% now in the second half, so Iowa State fought their way from 16 down to 5 now.
Well, Iowa State's defense much more aggressive here in the second half, doing a little bit more trapping, getting after the ball, really helter-skelter, trying to stop Oklahoma from getting the ball inside.
Najera tangling with Shirley. No bucket. Foul called on Paul Shirley, his second.
Well, Paul Shirley just getting no respect defensively. He's trying to body up against Najera. You know, when Eduardo puts the ball on the floor, you got to get some help from somebody else because he's just going to keep pushing you underneath the basket.
Race 35-second shot clock. Now Najera. Heavy traffic. Shirley shut him down. Heska kicks it out. J.R. Raymond for 3 short. And here comes Iowa State down by 5 with 3:10 to play. Michael Nurse goes by Hollis Price and lays it up. It's a 3-point ball game. A dozen for Michael Nurse. Things getting nervous for Oklahoma now.
Well, one of the things I sense in Oklahoma is they've lost confidence in their defense. You know, confidence can work on both offense and defense, and right now Oklahoma doesn't look like they remember what it took in the first half to keep Iowa State out of the lane.
Najera, a great dish inside to Renzi Stone. First points for Stone, and Najera made a great feed.
Boy, fantastic pass. You know, he's going to get double-teamed. His ability to pass out of it.
Fizer at the other end.
I tell you what, back and forth, back and forth. Huge bucket. You got to have your go-to guys step forward. Marcus Fizer, no question in his mind he was going to score that time.
20 points for Fizer now with 4 rebounds. Najera has 16 points and 11 boards. Shirley. Iowa State roaring back in this thing. Shirley has 4 points. It's a 1-point game with 2:08 to play. Amazing comeback by the Cyclones.
Jamaal Tinsley so quick on the ball. If you're J.R. Raymond, you better give it up. Let somebody else handle it.
1:55 to play. Oklahoma by a point. Najera turns, goes after Shirley, throws it up wild, doesn't get it, and a foul. Paul Shirley's third.
I'm telling you, Fred, you just cannot stop him. Paul Shirley did everything he could defensively that time, but when Eduardo puts the ball down on the floor, you've got to have somebody come run at him and get him to pick that dribble up. You see Najera just shoving him right to the basket, and there's nothing else Paul Shirley can do.
As close as this game has been since it was 10-8 with 13:20 left in the first half. Najera, big free throws. 70% shooter, his team up by 1 with 1:49 to play.
Yeah, watching in practice last night, Najera continued to miss free throws, and he kept going back to the line, he was really getting frustrated with himself. He just wasn't shooting the ball very well. You know, he's had some ligaments strained in his hand, his right hand, his shooting hand, and he took the tape off a couple games ago, said it was bothering him. But when it's time to make them, your big-time player is going to step forward and hit him.
And he is a big-time player. He has 18 points, 11 boards in this game. Michael Nurse. Tinsley. 3-point lead Oklahoma, 140. This for the tie. Got it. Oh, Michael Nurse.
Big shot there. Just pulled right up. The Oklahoma defense, great shot by Michael Nurse. You know, you keep waiting for him to bust out. Here it is, game on the line, and he's stepping forward.
That one tied the ball game with 59 all with 1:25 to play, and Kelvin Sampson gets a timeout to stop the clock. Michael Nurse had 3 points and without a field goal in the first half. Now he has 15 points in this ball game.
See the Oklahoma defense, Nolan Johnson a little soft on Nurse. Nurse is about 2 steps beyond that 3-point line. I don't think Johnson thought he'd pull up from there, but that is well within Nurse's range.
Chris, I've been wondering something for the last 2 minutes. You mentioned your go-to guy who's Najera, but is he trying to do too much when he gets the ball?
You know, I think about 3 or 4 minutes ago, he was trying to do too much. He got himself in a couple positions that, you know, he had nowhere to go with the ball. One of the things that you can't do offensively is stop your offense and just look at one guy. You got to continue the motion. And especially Oklahoma had great job on the perimeter. You see what Oklahoma did in the first half, but look at the second half. Iowa State 68%. Now Oklahoma dropped down to 39%, and that comes from your offense. That comes from getting easy shots, and Oklahoma is not doing that. And Iowa State, on the other hand, is getting better looks at the basket.
Big possession, Oklahoma. They are in a tie for the first time since way back in the early part of the game. Heskett, Najera. Shirley defending. Najera puts it on the floor, goes to work, spins on the baseline, and fouled. Didn't get the shot. It was in and came back out again. Paul Shirley commits his 4th foul, trying to stop him.
Well, again, one-on-one, Najera against Shirley, and Shirley with the arm slapping across there. He can't believe he fouled, but you know what? You're in position. You just got to stand there and let Najera push you down on the floor and then wait for the official to make the call. Paul Shirley just battling inside against Najera, but he's got to have some help, Fred. Now that's 5 fouls on Paul Shirley. I thought that I'll tell you what, he didn't play a lot of minutes. He got a lot of use out of those fouls, though. He was banging in there. And now they're going to have to look for Stevie Johnson to guard Najera. But I just think Eduardo's just too much to handle inside one-on-one. You got to get a guard to come down on him, make him pick up that dribble.
Paul Shirley gave it an effort when he was in there. 4 points don't tell the story for him. And now Najera back to the line.
Yeah, well, the problem is you tell Larry Eustachy that, and he says, yeah, I get a guard down on him, and they throw the ball back out, and they hit a 3. So what do you do?
Najera, the only Sooner to shoot a free throw today. He's now 3 for 5 from the line. We are still tied at 59 with 1:08 to go. Iowa State
living at the line that first half, weren't they?
I mentioned earlier they have made more free throws than their opponents have shot today, and 2 misses. Najera was still tied, and Iowa State with a chance to take the lead as the clock shows a minute to play. Tinsley, Marcus Fizer saying keep it out there. 20 on the shot clock. Tinsley and Fizer, are they looking for a 2-man game right here? I think they're going to get it. They do, down inside. They go to Fizer, ball knocked loose on the floor. Oklahoma ball with 42.9 to play, and guess who's got it?
Yeah, guess who's there? Who's the guy that went down on the ball, got it, and called the timeout? Of course.
Look at this play.
Well, tough pass in here from Tinsley, and Marcus Fizer just caught up there trying to battle Renzi Stone. Here he is, Eduardo Najera. Lucky he didn't get called for out of bounds, too, because that left hand looked like he was out just a little bit when he went down on a loose ball.
Renzi Stone bodied up on Fizer that time. So 43 seconds to play, 42.9. Oklahoma ball. 59-59 tie. Who'd have thunk it? It would be in a tie right here.
2 different games, hasn't it been?
Isn't it, though?
First half, all Oklahoma. Second half, Iowa State. Just battling back, hit some big shots. Michael Nurse busting loose and finally getting some 3s to go down.
Well, no matter what happens to Iowa State, this comeback just has to do them some good mentally. And Kelvin Sampson's team may not be very satisfied with the win if they get it here.
See the timeouts there, 2 for Iowa State, 1 for Oklahoma. Team fouls Iowa State now with 7. Oklahoma still only with 5. So if they have to foul to stop the clock, if Iowa State gets a lead, they've got 1 foul to give you.
Hollis Stacy against Michael Nurse. 34 seconds left in the game. 25 on the shot clock. Renzi Stone, 20 on the shot clock.
See if Oklahoma can get a little 2-man game in Najera inside.
12 on the shot clock, 18 in the game. Ball knocked loose but saved. 8 on the shot clock. 6 on the shot clock. Raymond's going to try to take it one-on-one in the lane. Soft shot, no. Iowa State has it. 7 seconds left. They could win it. Tinsley near the lane on the rim, and no. Rebounded by Najera. 0.2 of a second left.
Oh my, Heskett down on the floor right now, but that's what we call a creeper on the rim.
Oh
that ball just, it looked straight down in the basket and said, no, I'm going to come back out. Jamaal Tinsley can't believe it. Heskett's still down on the floor though.
Kelvin Sampson talking to an official. That's the trainer, Alex Brown, over Tim Heskett here. And Heskett in obvious pain.
Well, you know, when you get a last-second shot like that, all bets are off. I mean, there's not going to be any calls, and there's a lot of elbows swinging in there. Everybody going for the loose ball. See Heskett in pain, and this is a tough kid as well. He sat out a year with a bulging disc problem in the back. Let's take a look now and see if we can see it. Tinsley bringing the ball down the floor, and he's going to collide with Tim Heskett.
Well, they're working on his left leg. He couldn't. It could have been an ankle, could have been a knee. He had that leg twisted under him.
You know, he was trying to stop in the and come to a stop so he could draw the charge possibly. It looked like it might have slipped a little bit on him. Sometimes you do that. You pull the Achilles or hyperextend the knee a little bit. You see Marcus Fizer coming over there with a little help.
That's a nice gesture. That is. So happy to see him go that he was willing to help him off the floor.
Exactly right. Hey, too bad you're hurt, but I'm glad you're going to go sit down.
I want to make sure you get all the way to the bench the way you're shooting the basketball.
That's exactly right.
So we have 2/10 of a second left. That's really not time for a shot under the rules. They're going to have to throw it and hope they can tip it.
Well, the only way you can count this is to tip into the basket. You cannot catch the ball and shoot it.
It has to be more than 3/10 of a second on the clock for the shot, and it's intercepted by Oklahoma. They couldn't have tipped that one anyway. That was a hard pass. So we're going to go to overtime in Norman. 59-59 tie, and what a comeback by a battling Iowa State.
Big 12 basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66. We put the best in our super clean gasolines so you can get the most out of your car. Choose Phillips 66, the performance company. Sonic, America's Drive-In, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball on ESPN+. National Car Rental, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Advanced Auto Parts, the best part is our people. Southwestern Bell, a member of the SBC Global Network. Buick, isn't it time for a real car? And by Bank of America.
Scars are a history of a life, of a game, of a place. A scar is a reminder of where you've been and where you're going. Scars are maps of battles past, evidence of sacrifice, badges of selflessness. Scars may fade or be smoothed out, but the story behind them is permanent. The NHL on ESPN. This is
half. But I tell you what, the game is really easy. Talking to Larry Eustachy last night, it's an easy game if you make shots. And that's what it was in the second half for Iowa State. They made some shots.
Just trying to describe the feeling here in Lloyd Noble. It seems that the momentum is all with Iowa State. Oklahoma seems to be a team in a little bit of shock right now, being caught at the end of it. They're trying to fix a technical problem across the way. One of the officials' whistle isn't stopping the clock. They have those belt packs on this year, and the whistle's supposed to stop the clock. A precision timing system that is called. And they're having a little bit of problem. Looks like Bill Kennedy, the referee, is the one. So they're going to take all of the belt packs off now. They're going to play without that. So it'll be up the official timer now to stop the clock.
Oh, we're stepping back into the 19th century now with the finger stopping the clock. Is that right?
Can you go back across the line at the Millennium? They're going to do it. Bill, fix your pants.
That's right.
So the belts are off. The belt packs are off. And we're going to go without the whistles.
Well, going back to what you were talking about, Fred, you're exactly right. I think confidence in Oklahoma the first half was so much more than in the second half, and not as much on the offensive end as on the defensive end. All of a sudden, Oklahoma kind of forgot what they were doing against Iowa State on the perimeter, and Iowa State was getting that perimeter penetration to get some easy looks at the basket.
Iowa State shooting 65% in the second half. Oklahoma 38. The Cyclones have caught them. 5 minutes on the clock. 59-59 tie. Fizer and Najera haven't seen enough of one another, so they're going to jump him. Najera thought that Fizer got there too quickly, and he did. They're going to have to jump again. Well,
no, that ball goes to Oklahoma. That's right. If you jump early on that time to jump, you run the risk of having a turnover there and Oklahoma getting the ball.
Fizer got up too quickly. Eduardo Najera looked at the penalty and said, wait a minute, I didn't get a shot at that at all.
You know, something Iowa State's been doing here in the last 10 minutes as well is really putting a lot of pressure on J.R. Raymond. Michael Nurse has been picking him up full court, trying to allow him not to have the ball.
Raymond, three-point try, short, and it's going to be out of bounds to Iowa State. So we start the overtime in a 59-all tie.
Yeah, we haven't heard yet if Heskett can get back in the game for Oklahoma, but they really need him in a situation like this. A heady player, smart player. Oklahoma with young guards. Need a guy like Heskett on the floor if possible.
A veteran.
And now it's money time. You're going to definitely see Najera and Fizer battling each other.
Tinsley, quick little move. The jumper short. Victor Avila pulls the rebound down for Oklahoma. He has a half dozen boards. Boulder leading Kansas State by 4 with just a few seconds left in Boulder. And now a quick timeout taken by Oklahoma. J.R. Raymond right in front of their bench. Timeout here with 4:07 left in the overtime. Nothing's happened. We're still tied at 59. Don't go away.
Scars are a history of a life, of a game, of a place. A scar is a reminder of where you've been and where you're going. Scars are maps of battles past, evidence of sacrifice, badges of selflessness. Scars may fade or be smoothed out, but the story behind them is permanent. The NHL on ESPN. This is the game.
Introducing ESPN Extra, the brand new channel for sports fans who can't get enough. On ESPN Extra, you get more of the sports you love, like international soccer from countries around the world, plus the UEFA Champions League, international auto racing, fitness, and outdoor programming. Plus, there's EXPN, which offers exciting extreme sports programming, all on pay-per-view around the clock all week long. Watch ESPN Now or your program guide to see what's on, then order exactly like you would for a pay-per-view movie. ESPN Extra, you can't do better than that.
Hockey is a game of control, played on an uncontrollable surface. It can be ugly and beautiful in the same moment. Players are drenched in sweat as they play on a sheet of ice. The speed of the game is astonishing, and yet it can come to a sudden halt. It is a game of respect in a sport that is too often disrespected. The NHL on ESPN. This is the game.
59 all, 4:07 left in the overtime. And now let's take a look at our best play of the game, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Michael Nurse, three-pointer, that tied it at 59. And Iowa State had come all the way back. They had their last lead at 10-8 with 13:20 left in the first half.
Well, Michael Nurse with 2 big threes here in the second half, 15 points. This is a kid he hadn't scored in double figures the last 3 games. Really hadn't had that many attempts at the basket, but he's come up big here this afternoon.
Avila going at Fizer again. How many shots has he put up there just like that, very softly, that haven't fallen? Avila's 1 for 7 from the floor, and he's had a lot of them on the rim just like that.
Boy, he's had a lot of dribblers, that's for sure. Just hanging around up there, just not able to get down. But you got to give credit to Iowa State's defensive pressure inside. Just enough presence there by Fizer to have Avila's ball not get down.
Third foul on Nolan Johnson. Still tied at 59. If somebody can get a couple of quick pops down, it's going to be a big emotional change in this overtime. The game has gone flat in all honesty.
Yeah, it really has. You know, when you get into overtime as well, the early buckets dictate the rest of the game, because even though it's 5 minutes, it feels like there's hardly any time on the clock. So as a player, you get a little bit tight and you get down by 4 points. All of a sudden, you're thinking, boy, you got to make it up in a hurry.
They left Michael Nurse alone. He knocked one down. And now Iowa State leading for the first time since it was 10-8.
Well, Kelvin Sampson motioning there at Nolan Johnson. So you got to come out and guard him.
Nolan Johnson. Down inside it goes. Avila again. Spins by Fizer. Scores that time. And it's a 1-point lead. Victor Avila's first field goal, his second of the day. 1-point lead, Iowa State. 2:54 left in the overtime. Now the Cyclones willing to take some time and go slow. Kantrail, Horton, Michael Nurse. It has been Nurse who has keyed the comeback. Quickly in the circle, has to give it up. 9 on the shot clock. Horton launches an off-target three. Ball on the floor, knocked around, and saved by Oklahoma. Sooners down 1. 2:30 left in the overtime. Hollis Price. J.R. Raymond. Down again they go to Avila. Kicks it back out. Back in. Inside out game. Avila working against Fizer. And a travel. Iowa State gets it back, leading by a point with 2:13 left in the overtime. They are really looking to Avila in this game.
So Avila there, just the defensive pressure there by Fizer. Gets him into the travel. You know, who would have thought that the last couple dimes down the floor, Oklahoma, that Victor Avila would be the guy making the move offensively. You'd think he'd want to get the ball to Najera, but
Michael Nurse, well, that was a long three-point try that didn't fall. And timeout taken by Iowa State as Stevie Johnson saved the ball over there. You're up 1 in overtime with 2 to play. That is a long three-point try, but he's confident.
It's deep. He's hit the shots that got him back in the game. You know, you got to stick with what got you there, but you kind of like to see the ball get into Marcus Fizer's hands as well. If nothing else, let him at least touch it. He does so many things for it. And you know, the thing about getting the ball inside to Marcus Fizer as well is he can kick the ball back out to the guys on the perimeter.
Look at the turnovers in the second half. Oklahoma 11. 13 in the game. 15 for Iowa State. I believe I've counted 4 times now in the last few minutes they've gone inside to Avila.
Yeah, you know, the thing about it, too, is when the ball's gone inside, the Oklahoma perimeter players have just kind of stood there and watched. If you get some movement on the perimeter, you might allow yourself to get an open shot if you kick it back out.
1:51 left in the overtime. Iowa State with a 1-point lead and the basketball. Oklahoma trying to defend it. Down inside. Tinsley. Soft one wouldn't fall. Najera picked off the rebound. His 12th of the day. Now the Sooners down 1 with 1:34 to play. Tinsley loves that shot. And boy, he had that thing on the rim softly. Now Raymond. Out at the top of the circle.
Look at a crowd around Najera.
That shot won't fall. Nolan Johnson with a miss. And right back Iowa State still leading by 1 with 1:16 to play. And Tinsley says, let's take a little time here. Calls the play. 23 on the shot clock. 1:09 left in the overtime. Now they put it in the hands of Michael Nurse with 17 on the shot clock. 1 minute to play. 13 on the shot clock. Eustachy says attack. 7 on the shot clock. They got it way outside. 5. Oh, Michael Nurse from way downtown and a miss. And the rebound to J.R. Raymond. 45 seconds to play. Oklahoma down 1.
2 tough shots back-to-back for Iowa State. You got to get the ball to Tinsley, I think, in that kind of situation. Let him penetrate, put Nurse on the wing.
Avila's going to shoot it from the top of the circle. And he got it.
Oh, my. That's one of those no, yes, right there, Fred.
Oklahoma by 1. 26 seconds left in the overtime.
Who is that guy?
What a shot from an unexpected source. And now timeout taken by Iowa State.
Even Eustachy's got a smile on his face right now. He can't hardly believe it.
They're right. The coach had to be thinking, Victor, don't shoot it from there. Nice shot.
Yeah.
Look at that.
A big hug there in the huddle. But, you know, Iowa State's going to let him take that shot. They were backing off on him, allowing Avila a good look from the top of the key. He said, hey, you can score. If you can score from there, you're going to beat us, because they wanted to keep the ball out of Najera's hands.
Probably the first shot he takes in practice every night when he walks on the floor. Here's what we have left. 1 timeout each team. There you see the team fouls. No shot clock left. We have 22.8 seconds to play. Iowa State down 1. How do you play it now if you're Iowa State?
Well, Iowa State's got to get some penetration. I think you'd want the ball in Tinsley's hands. Get Nurse on the corner, Horton on the corner. 2 great three-point shooters. Get a little penetration. Kick the ball off inside to Marcus Fizer if available. If not, I'll tell you what, Tinsley is a guy that can create something.
Score as fast as you can or wait for the last shot. You're down 1 on the road. Nurse comes out to get it. 15 seconds left. Nurse picks up the dribble.
Well, you got to give your shot a chance at an offensive rebound.
Look for a wild scramble here. Nurse down the lane. Hammered. Shot blocked. And there's a foul call. Foul call with 4.8 seconds to play. And Iowa State down 1 will go to the line.
Well, let's watch the play. The breakdown here up top. Nurse working. Trying to get inside, and you see the help from Oklahoma a little bit late. 3 guys there to stop him. You got to stop the ball, though. Make him shoot it over the top.
Michael Nurse with 18 points today, 3 for 4 at the free throw line. He's going to shoot 2, and he can put him in front with 4.8 seconds to play. 1 to tie, 2 for the lead. And they're going to take a timeout to make him think about it. Well, what a day it's been for Michael Nurse. He had 3 points at halftime, no field goals. He now has in this game 19 points. He's 4 for 5 at the free throw line.
Well, Oklahoma now with no more timeouts. A made free throw here, either made or missed. They're going to be pushing the ball up the floor quick, trying to beat the defense down the floor. 5 seconds, 4.8 seconds, a lot of time. You can get the ball all the way up the floor. And look for Iowa State probably to show a little pressure. And one of the things, you show a little pressure, it makes it tough to bring the ball up the floor. You run a little bit more time off the clock.
Well, if he makes this, Iowa State has to flatten out an Oklahoma guard, don't they? Try to make him go sideways a little bit.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times people say, well, get back and stop the shot down there. But actually, up here in the front court's where you can use up a lot of the clock. Right now, Oklahoma's saying no offensive rebounds. Got Renzi Stone back in the game.
Michael Nurse to put Iowa State in front with 4.8 seconds left in the overtime. This for the lead. Oklahoma ball, we're in a tie. Raymond pushing it. Heskett back in the game, throws one up, missed. We're going to the second overtime.
Oh, my.
What a day in Norman.
How about that?
They got it in the hands of a shooter. And he got a shot, not a great one, but a shot.
Well, Michael Nurse walking back slow to the huddle. But I tell you what, he's got to forget about that shot. You got another 5 minutes. You got a new game. That free throw's over. You see his teammates gathering around him, but that's over.
We're going to take a quick break here to get you to Studio 66 and Doug Bell.
Fred, Chris, thank you. Time for you guys to catch your breath as we get ready for that second overtime. It has been a tremendous game. Now, remember, coming up next week, right here, we'll start at 12:30 on Saturday with Studio 66. Then we'll get you ready for Texas A&M at Missouri. And, of course, the Tigers now 4-1 after that win today over Kansas. In the second half of the doubleheader next Saturday, you'll see either Kansas at Iowa State, always a good matchup, or Oklahoma at Texas Tech. And the scores from earlier today, in case you missed it, big upset. Missouri wins at home against Kansas. And let's go to the scoreboard now. That final was 81-59. The Missouri backcourt outscored Kansas 42-12. Well, that's a huge number. They were out-rebounded, but that backcourt difference was the difference in the game. Texas A&M wins at home over Oklahoma State 64-59. All right, guys, back to Fred and Chris in Norman.
All right, thank you very much. But, you know, you're right, Chris. They wouldn't have been here if it hadn't been for him and the way he played in the second half.
That's exactly right. You know, he was the last guy. He was still sitting out there when everybody else was done. He's got to get over that. You know, that game that's done. That's past. But he's been the guy that's got him back in the game. If anybody, they wanted him at the free throw line in a money situation like that. He didn't hit it. You know what? Learn from it. Go on down the road.
He made the one that tied it and got it to the second overtime. He made the bucket, the three-pointer that tied it.
Well, he made the toughest one, actually.
Yeah,
you know, that first one.
Now Nurse with the ball again. Iowa State on the attack. Down they go to Fizer. Double, triple team, gave it up. Stevie Johnson down inside. Stevie Johnson gets his fourth point of the day.
A simple rule of mathematics there. If you got 3 guys on you, somebody's got to be open.
And he found it. To his everlasting credit. Corner. Heskett for 3. And Oklahoma's in front.
Well, how about Heskett? He's back in the game. You know, the first time he was on the floor in that overtime was for that last 4.8 seconds to take that shot. He's limping a little bit. But he's a gamer. He steps up, hits that three.
Oklahoma by a point. Jamaal Tinsley missed the battle for the rebound. The ball on the floor picked up by Hollis Price, and Oklahoma has it and a 1-point lead with 4:04 to go in the overtime. What a ball game this has turned into. I mentioned a while ago the game seemed to have flattened out. Not anymore.
No, there's no flat to this anymore.
Avila, that's the shot he made.
See, Fizer came up a little bit more that time. Got to get movement on the perimeter. J.R. Raymond drives to the basket. Hollis Price got to be moving a little bit to get that open shot.
8 on the shot clock. Raymond off target. Rebound. Jamaal Tinsley.
Whew, did he get that?
The lob is intended for Stevie Johnson. Tipped by Avila. Saved by Stevie Johnson. And what, did he get, a timeout or what?
Well, I think Stevie Johnson got hit in the face that time going for the loose ball. The official called a timeout because Stevie Johnson, once he had that ball in his hands, was going down in pain.
You know, again, let's go back and look what happened. Again, Michael Nurse standing all by himself at this Iowa State team. Still.
See Najera there with that right hand just kind of came across his face as he was going for the loose ball. Watch Najera's right hand right across Stevie Johnson's face. Doesn't feel very good at that time. Now Michael Nurse standing over there listening to the OU crowd. They're sitting there. They're on him right now.
Still standing. There you see him down in the deep left-hand corner of your picture. Still standing all by himself.
Well, Stevie Johnson going to have to take a seat on the bench now with that official timeout. They're going to bring in Richard Evans to replace him. And then as soon as a little bit of time is run off the clock, Stevie Johnson's already at the scorer's table waiting for the next dead ball.
Well, he is a guy you want in the game, isn't he?
Well, you need him defensively and on the boards.
Tinsley open on the baseline, knocks it down. Jamaal Tinsley has 14 points. Iowa State up 1 with 3:22 to play.
It's all about big plays right now. 3 minutes left. Not a whole lot of time when you're talking about overtime.
Second overtime in Norman.
Each possession extremely critical.
Avila not even looking at that shot again. He made one. It was a big one. Now Raymond will for 3 on the rim, and he got it.
I'll tell you what, that is big, Fred, because he has missed about 3 shots in a row, but you know what? He comes back, takes the wide open shot again, showing a lot of confidence.
He has hit 5 out of 14 three-point attempts in this game. Sooners by 2. 2:45 left in the overtime.
Oh, boy, so quick on the crossover.
Battle for the ball. Won by Najera. No surprise. His 12th rebound, 13th rebound of the day.
Oklahoma just wanting to run their offense right now, run some time off the clock, but yet look to score. You always want to keep pressure on the defense.
2:25 left in the second overtime. They tried to lob it to Najera, knocked out of there, picked up. They go again. He's there. Great fake, and he got it, and he's fouled. Look at the look on Najera's face. He knows what he just accomplished.
Great patience offensively here by Oklahoma. The first lob pass wasn't there. Najera kicks it back, but this time it's there. Najera with a great seal. You know, the ball movement to the wing here got Iowa State's defense a little bit out of kilter and allowed that lob pass with no weak side help there from Iowa State. And Marcus Fizer late to get there.
4th foul on Marcus Fizer. Yeah, we should be celebrating.
Tell you what, they just hit him, don't they? I mean, he's so tough, they just run up and hit him. Don't give him any high fives, just hit him in the chest.
21 points for Eduardo Najera today to go with 13 rebounds. Fizer's 4th foul. Now it's Oklahoma by 5 with 2:17 left in the overtime. Iowa State letting it roll so the clock didn't start.
Got to get Michael Nurse open on the perimeter.
Kantrail Horton shut down. Johnson and foul. Nolan Johnson commits his 4th foul. Might be a guy or two take a seat before this is over. We're in the second overtime, 2:07 to play. It'll be Kantrail Horton to the free throw line. He has 6 points today, has not shot a free throw yet. Iowa State 10 for 15 at the line. Oklahoma just 4 for 7. We'll shoot 2.
Big free throw there by Horton. Quiet the crowd down. Another one here gets him back within 3.
2 big free throws for Kantrail Horton. 2:07 to play in the second overtime. Oklahoma has the ball and that 3-point lead. Nurse after Johnson. Now J.R. Raymond defended by Tinsley. It's going to happen a few more times in their careers. They're both young. Avila trying to set a screen. Heskett couldn't find an open shot. 12 on the shot clock. Najera. Nice spin move on Johnson. Throws at the corner. Heskett. Huge bucket.
Fred, Najera wanted the ball that time. He stepped himself out away from the basket because he wanted to make something happen, and great recognition to see the three. But again, Iowa State right back at you. Tell you, these two teams just trading their best blows.
Tinsley has 14 points now. Fizer 20, Nurse 19.
I just think good things happen when you got the ball in Jamaal Tinsley's hands. He can create his own shot, and he can create shots for other players.
14 on the shot clock. Now a minute left in the game. Najera fouled. The bucket didn't fall.
Offensive foul. Calling Najera on the charge. Michael Nurse there. Najera has stepped out away from the basket because there's been so much congestion in there. He hadn't been able to catch it. But you see Nurse coming in, just standing there, taking the charge. Smart play by Michael Nurse to see Najera go into the hoop and get in the way.
Third foul on Najera. 4-point lead Oklahoma. 54 seconds to play. Fizer looking for a huge hoop. Goes up and in and out. Tough shooting left for Marcus Fizer. But Michael Nurse saved it. And he is blocked. Avila was there making the call and the block. And the possession arrow belongs to Oklahoma.
You know, so many times big guys get a little overzealous and they try and do too much with that. Nice job that time by Avila just to stand there. Let him go right up in your hands. Good defense.
And a whistle blowing, trying to separate some players as they got a little overzealous. 45.8 seconds left in the second overtime. Oklahoma gets the ball off the possession arrow after the block. They have the ball in a 4-point lead. And having trouble getting it in bounds, they find Heskett. Back to Najera. And he's fouled by Stevie Johnson.
Yeah, down by 4, you got to foul. Got to stop that clock, give your chances. Give your team a chance at a shot. Hope that Oklahoma misses a free throw.
Larry Eustachy, boy, he's seen his club really battle back. Najera 4 for 7 at the line. He missed his last 2.
And comes into the game shooting 70%. But, you know, watching him last night, he just looked like he wasn't very confident at the free throw line. Really working on taking a lot of shots there.
Correct me, he did not miss his last 2. He made his last one. He had missed the 2 before that.
Well, he made the 2 in regulation when they needed him.
Yeah.
And now he stepped forward again, made that one.
Could put his club up by 6 points here. 41.4 seconds to play. And it is a 6-point lead to the Sooners.
Again, Iowa State needs Nurse.
Off target, rebound, Najera. Look at him pound it up court. And now pulls it up, finds Heskett, and a foul. Well, how many times have you seen a team like Iowa State make that long comeback and then just not, it seems like you spend it all to get there and you can't get over the hump.
Well, you know, they were able to stick with them in that first overtime, but they came from so far down. You know, they don't play a lot of players as well, with Paul Shirley sitting on the bench with 5 fouls. Really, there's only 5 guys that Larry Eustachy is playing. Brandon Hawkins we haven't seen much of.
You know what? Najera is the only Sooner to shoot a free throw today. He's 6 for 9 at the line, 23 points and 14 rebounds. Is that a day?
Just another day at the office for Eduardo.
You know, I said it earlier and I'll say it again. If there is a more valuable player in the league right now than him, I really don't know who it would be.
As far as what he does for his team,
yes.
You're exactly right.
There's so many things.
He gives them everything that they need.
I'm not even saying best player, I'm saying most valuable. Well, you can certainly make a case for that too. Horton for 3. Avila with a rebound, fouled by Michael Nurse with 20 seconds to play. Oklahoma up by 8 and sensing that maybe they have put this thing away now. But I wouldn't bet on it just yet the way this game is.
Well, Larry Eustachy after that last one said no more fouls. 8 points, 20 seconds. It's a long way.
Victor Avila now will be the first player other than Najera to shoot a free throw today.
I think if you're Iowa State and Larry Eustachy, you got to come away from this game with something good. You've won 2 road games, and this is a team that won 1 road game in the previous 2 years. And you took Oklahoma, who is a good, solid team, to double overtime on their floor.
Avila 6 points, 7 rebounds today. Made a memorable shot from the top of the key late in the ball game. Got the free throw. 7 points, 7 boards. Avila. 9-point lead Oklahoma. 17 seconds to play. Jamaal Tinsley weaving through traffic, blocked from behind, and a foul. That's not what Oklahoma wanted. They did not want to foul Tinsley. So Tinsley goes to the line. 4 for 4 at the free throw line.
Well, 13 for 27 for Oklahoma from beyond the 3-point line. You shoot that good of a percentage, it's going to be tough for any team to beat you. And Iowa State, they've battled back in this game, but I'll tell you what, just too many deep shots for Oklahoma and too much Eduardo Najera.
Kelvin Sampson talking to Lamar Johnson, who's that, or rather Nolan Johnson, see who that foul was on. Now Tinsley free throw good. Good coaching going over there. He didn't want that foul at all. Nolan Johnson committed it, his 5th.
Yeah, it's tough to give up the easy basket, but in that situation, sometimes you just got to. And Tinsley trying to throw that off the rim.
Michael Nurse from way outside won't go. Kantrail. Horton knocked one down from even further outside. Horton has 11 points now. 1.4 seconds to play. 5-point lead Oklahoma.
Is that the half-court $1 million shot that he just hit?
Might have been. Eustachy says, get right back out there and let's play it out. 1.4 to play. Inbounds it comes. Oklahoma wins it. In 2 overtimes, 80-75. The Sooners, who squandered a 16-point lead, hung on to come back in 2 overtimes and win it. Tremendous effort here by Iowa State, Chris.
Well, they were fantastic. They battled back in the game, but just too much Oklahoma in this game.
And here's the man, Eduardo Najera, 25 points, 14 boards. And a big one. For Chris Piper and our entire crew, Fred White saying, thanks for watching. Good afternoon from Norman.